Happy New Year's. It's a new year, it's a new day, and we have new rankings, but I'm the same old L host. We got the same old Tars next to me. We got the same old goated, stubborn chill. Goats are pretty stubborn. And then we also have one of the key characters for Player's Choice. He does so much that you guys would never even understand. I could try to compute everything and put it into an analytical equation, and you guys may get it because you guys are stat heads, but it still wouldn't resemble the importance that my man below me, Jude, has in what he does for Player's Choice and does for the team and does for everybody that they may not know. He's really holding things down behind the scenes. So, Jude, I want you to tell the people exactly who you are, where you're from, what's you and Mars' relation, because I think you guys are cousins, and also, or maybe half brothers, and also just tell them how important you are to the team and how much you love Player's Choice.
Well, I'll blow my own trumpet, but I'll just say that's disgusting stereotyping from you, Ron, to start off. I apologize for my voice. I'm recovering from a cold, so my voice is never this deep normally, so I've probably put a plus 5-6 years on my own age count. But basically, I'm the person who writes the articles on the community tab that you might tap into. I've had and then now and again do some polls, and then the topics that we cover on the show, I end up having that hand in them as well. I'm a bit into a bit in everything, really, just behind the scenes, keeping the clock ticking, sort of. That's sort of what I do. Keep everything going and making the off days work, I guess.
Yeah,
so
and
this
Jude helped
the executive producer. This the dude that makes the ship go. That's this dude right
here. Yeah. He helps me behind the scenes construct, all the shows and stuff. So he's actually the one that comes up with the titles. It's not me, right, Jude?
Well, I would behind the scenes, yes. In public, it's all you. I've got nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone knows, but PC doesn't actually stand for Player's Choice. It stands for politically correct. So I'm just here to fill a quota. So don't expect too much from me.
Facts.
Too much from me. It's just colonization. It's just colonization at its finest, to be honest. Yeah,
you 100% Brit.
We're from two ends of the country, allegedly.
And now that I'm listening to Jude talk, I'm starting to wonder. In fact, it sounds more and more. Mars, y'all might be related. That this whole half brother thing, I don't think it's ridiculous to think that. I don't. I do.
We look identical, as you can tell. So
I'm just saying, I do see some resemblance, Jude. I do see some resemblance
as well.
I don't know if it's ridiculous to think that. Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Dude, are you the smart cousin?
Hold
on, wait.
I'd be insulted if I was Mars getting compared to my chubby face, but
Mars, there's no way you can tell me that this ain't family right here. You can't do it, Mars. You can't tell me that that's not family right here.
We look the exact same, yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying, it looks really similar. So I wasn't there, but it looked real similar, Mars.
Neither was I, so I don't know either.
Yeah, well, Jude, it's amazing to have you on. We all appreciate you. Even the trolls in the chat, they appreciate everything that you do. The goofies in the chat, the members in the chat, the Hall of Famers in the chat, the people that are in the chat that don't type in the chat, and the people that want to be in the chat but don't want to pay $1.
Everyone's saying that you allegedly write all them. Now they know it's me, so now they know to send the hate to. So I'll put my PO box in the description.
Yeah, and so that means send hate and donations. Send both.
Yeah.
But more donations.
I'll take the 50-50 chance, see what happens.
Ron, you do understand that you don't reveal a ghostwriter. This is the ghostwriter right here. You don't reveal that. What are you doing, Ron? That's why you call
every time I write something about the Pacers, I'll just see in the comments it's Ron's writing it.
Ron, you don't
I can hear Ron's voice when I write this, and I'm just like, well, guess that's how it is. Thank you.
Well, now y'all better put a bloody accent on my voice. But all right, y'all. You guys know what time it is. We have power rankings. And so this is going to be a very good episode because this is one of the closer power rankings that we've ever done. I want to say we have 6 ties. Yeah, we have 6 ties, and obviously, we're in January, so we've seen all these teams play enough to really know, or just have a good thumb on how these teams look, how they run, and how good they can potentially be. So this is going to be a very good episode, y'all. Very good. So let's get into it. We're not going to waste too much time. From the top, and I'm running a poll right now. That's POLL, not POLE, for all of you guys trying to come into the New Year's with that nasty 2024 attitude. No, we're not doing that this year. We are on a straight and narrow. We on a straight and narrow now, dude. We're cleaning things up over here. But
I told you, PC politically correct. It's not Player's Choice anymore. Rebrand, 2025 rebrand. So.
Or it could stand for poll. Never mind. Here we go. Bottom 4 teams. Who's the worst team in the NBA? I ran a poll and I put the Pelicans, the Wizards, the Hornets, and the Raptors. And the Wizards are running away with it with 47. Not necessarily running away with it, but they have 47% of the votes. The Pelicans have 35. But I got to ask you guys, who's last on our poll for the worst team in the NBA? Or who's last in our rankings?
I think it's New Orleans. I think they're the worst team.
I have Pelicans as well.
They're in the bottom of the league, and they got. I think they're in the bottom 3 in the league in offense. They're in the bottom 3 in the league in defense. They're one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. They've been decimated by injury. They can't win close games. They're a turnover machine. I think they're the worst team in the league. If
you showed me this roster, like the team that's playing right now in the offseason, I could not tell you what team was playing. You've got. Well, I read that Zion's back in practicing, but it wouldn't surprise me if they shut him down. They've got nothing to play for.
Back in practice, that's a good thing. We might see Zion a few more times this year.
Back in practice.
How many more?
2 more times. We might see it. We
2 more. Wow. Let's get the All-Star ballot going, Ron. We might see Ron. We might see Zion 2 more times. So let's get. Has he already been eliminated from All-Pro?
He's been eliminated from that.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's played like 8 games or something.
He's not played 60-odd games in this space of time.
Which, by the way, Mars, I don't know if you noticed, but Joel Embiid has not been eliminated from any postseason awards.
Has he not?
No, not yet.
What, and Luka has? That's something I would not. I think
put that on your mind. I don't think he's been eliminated.
Well, he's not playing tonight, so he's. I don't know how many games he's missed.
That might be the case.
But back to what come on, we could just go ahead and hang that up. Like I understand what you're saying, but it's like we know that's coming. That's coming quicker than Father Time. But hold on, though. Just speaking of Zion, right quick. What if Zion just all of a sudden we don't see him on All-Star Game playing, but we see him on All-Star Game Saturday? How would y'all feel about that?
Well, that's not going to work, Ron, because he already made it clear that if he's going to be in the dunk contest, he had to be in the All-Star game. He already said that.
He said that?
So he said that. He said in order for him to be in the dunk contest, he had to be in the All-Star game. So he's not.
He said that last year or this year?
No, this year. He said that. In order for him to get in the dunk contest, he had to be in the All-Star game. That was the only way.
Probably a record for the worst record of any player in an All-Star game if we ever got any nods. But
and that's not happening. So with that being said, we're not going to see him on All-Star Weekend. No, we're not.
Yeah,
but if we did see him, to be honest with you, if we did see him, it would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool if we saw him, but nah.
All right. Well, Mars, what team did you say that you got last?
New Orleans.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I think that's who I had. I might just be lying. I think that's who I had.
That was the easiest one for me to put down, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it is the Pelicans. They were 29 last month, but they are dead last at 30 this month.
Garbage.
So that's who we got. Masinko just sent through a super chat. Masinko said, "Happy New Year's, fellas. Jordan isn't here, so this is going to be an amazing episode." Shout out Tracy Murray, Bonzi Wells, Xavier Henry or Xavier Henry, because that's two different guys. But I think he's talking about my man Xavier. Shout out Xavier Henry, Nene, L49ers, L Mets, Mars. We need the gaming streams back.
What are the gaming streams, Moss?
Man, they get one stream a week. Man, that's about as far as it's gonna go for a while.
Among Us 2025. I'm saying it
Progress
first.
is progress. Like, you're not asking for too much. That one stream gonna turn into one stream every month. Like, let's just
Quality over quantity.
Let's be appreciative of what we have.
Yeah, and it's news, but it's not kind of news. But I guess it's news because it's been accelerated now. It seems like the New Orleans Pelicans are actively looking for a trade partner for Brandon Ingram. This is what I read yesterday.
As soon as he didn't take that extension, I was like, it's done.
I don't understand though, Ron. I mean, are we surprised about this New Orleans team? I mean, there should be a fire sale. Like once they got rid of their meat and potatoes guys, like I said to you before, Nance, Marshall, right? Dyson Daniels is now gone. Zion Williamson is consistently out of the lineup. What are we holding on to this group for? The Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram experiment, it didn't work. He's been there 5 years. It didn't work. What are we doing holding on to this group for? And on top of that, to Jude's point, I mean, he didn't sign that extension for $50 million. What are we holding on to this group for? I told you this before, Ron, when we talked about De'Aaron Fox. LeBron James wrote the blueprint. When your star does not sign an extension, what are you holding on to him for? Because he's going to walk out the front door and you're going to get nothing.
So one more question before we move on to the next team. What's more surprising this year? The Cavaliers at the top of the league or the Pelicans at the bottom of the league on a 10-game losing streak?
Yikes. I didn't think they'd be this bad, Ron. I ain't going to lie. I didn't have them making the playoffs, but I didn't think they'd be this bad. No, I didn't.
I think I remember reading the Pelicans are like on the worst 20-game span since like 2004 or 2005. They've lost like 19 of the last 20. So
who did they?
I think if you talk, I don't know.
That's why I want. Yeah, time to do some research. I think I'm more.
Some research.
They beat. Of course, they beat the Suns. Oh my
god.
I think the Pelicans. I don't know who's more surprising.
I think the Pelicans, because the Cavs are at least in the East. You could at least give them Eastern Conference tax of the fact that they're going to be playing more bottom feeders, and that might boost their record a bit. But I don't. But at the same time, then you've got Zion who can't step on the court to save his life. And
actually, Jude, we can't give Cleveland the Eastern Conference tax. Just so you know, the 4 losses that they have, they've been against all Eastern Conference teams. They're undefeated against the West.
Oh, really?
So we can't give them the Eastern Conference.
I keep trying to tell y'all the East is not weak. The East, I'm trying to tell y'all the East might be better than the West.
The records are smoke and mirrors in the East, to be fair. There's more. What the actual performance level is a lot higher than records suggest.
Yeah, I'm more surprised.
Go ahead.
I'm more surprised by New Orleans then. I guess.
Yeah, I would say Pelicans.
I wasn't high on them to begin with, but them being.
Where did you have them at, Mars? The Pel before the season started. Where did you have them at? I didn't have them making the playoffs, but where did you have them at before the season started?
I had Portland and Utah below them. I think I had the Spurs below them. So I had them as what, the 12 seed? Yeah, I had them as the 12
seed. So you had them living in that neighborhood. So they weren't living in the same house, but you had them living in that neighborhood.
I thought they'd be. I didn't think they'd be good, but I thought they would be like the best of the bad teams. So I was wrong, but that's where I had them, like 12.
I did not have them being this bad, especially considering. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't. DeJounte Murray breaking his hand and losing him for 6 weeks. I'd like to think that had something to do with it. Losing those dirty work guys. That also has something to do with it too. But I just think that this team, in terms of continuity, they got decimated by injury. You know, Williamson's been out of the lineup. Brandon Ingram was out of the lineup. Then Murray was out of the lineup. And then you get these guys back in the lineup. And then the Western Conference being the gauntlet that it is. I mean, what do you expect to happen? I didn't think this team would be very good. I didn't think that they would be at the bottom of the West, though. No, I did not think that they would be that bad. No, I didn't.
See, the West being the gauntlet that it is and saying that the East isn't, I'm just finding that hard to wrap my head around.
Let's kill that ox. Let that part right there. I've been trying
to.
We can say that the Western Conference is the gauntlet, but let's the other part, what you just said.
The East being
let's kill that.
Because that's not true. The East is better than what people give us credit for. If you ask me, the top 5 teams in the league, 4 of them are in the East.
So the Celtics, the Cavs, the Celtics, the Knicks, the Magic.
Well, maybe not some of the Magic anymore because Paolo, Franz, and everybody they just got hurt.
Yeah, but I think the Magic would have been in there if the whole.
Yeah, but now
okay,
so with the injury, I'm forgetting about the injury. So it kind of comes down to, are the Bucks better than Memphis and who else? You know what?
I think Milwaukee better than Houston.
Yeah, I can still stand on that. I can still stand on that. Out of the 5 top teams in the league, 4 of those teams are in the East. So how is the East weak? How is the East not as good, if not better than the West? Because the bottom feeders are worse. That's not how that works.
Well, we went over this. I don't know if you remember this, but we went over this a couple of weeks ago where we ended up matching up the teams where we went, Oklahoma City, Cleveland, where's the gap? Boston, Memphis, where's the gap? And it got tricky around like 7 or 8 in terms of the conference. But in the top half of the conference, there really wasn't that much separation. Right. Now, don't get me wrong, win percentage might be a little bit different, but I just think I don't think the East is as weak as I think that's a narrative that people still running with from years past. I don't think the East is as weak as what it used to be. No, it's not 2005 anymore. It's not.
Is anybody able to calculate?
Great discourse, really.
Is anybody able to calculate both total wins and losses for both conferences? And I know that doesn't necessarily make the end all be all, but I would like to know like which conference has more wins and which conference has more losses.
3 letters, GPT.
Is it against each other or is it against their conference?
No, just in totality. The thing about it's certain teams that have played a majority of their games in the East, and it's certain teams that have played the majority of their team in the West, and it's certain teams that are balanced. So we can't necessarily calculate that or put together strength of schedule. I mean, I'm sure somebody can do that, but I would just kind of like to know overall because the NBA plays the NBA.
Like, what do the Cavs look like against the Western Conference? What do the Celtics look like against the Western Conference? I think I understand your logic, and I think right before you went off camera, I told the fellas the 4 losses that the Cavs got, they're against the East. They undefeated against the West.
Yeah,
the West of one.
I think it's 7-0 against
the West. Have won 51% of their games, and the East have won 49%. So it's practically 50-50.
Yeah,
so the East is under 500 as a total conference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 51. That's games. Like just about
11 games. Yeah, it's 11 games.
Okay,
that's it.
All right. Well, moving on to 29, we have the Washington Wizards.
I watched them against the Knicks, Ron, and if we could get a coach in Washington that was really committed, because I don't hate their talent. I really don't. I don't hate their talent. I really like this kid that you turned me on to, Mars, the French kid, Bilal. Yeah, I really like him. I like this kid, Bub. Bub plays hard. Bub's got a really good stop and pop game. I think there's a lot of potential with this kid, Alex Sarr. I really like him. And I'm glad I got you guys on here because y'all may be able to enlighten me. Am I seeing double, or is this kid Champagny and the other kid in San? Are they related?
That's twins.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. Like, wait a minute, yo, because I don't want to sound stupid up here. Okay, because that's the same thing that's going on with Caleb Martin and his brother. All right, I got you. But
wait, so you don't think Brian Keefe's committed?
It's not that I don't think he's committed. I don't think they're committed to him. I think if they had another coach with some more cachet, I feel like maybe they would be better.
Are they trying to be better?
I think they are. I do. I don't think that they're losing on purpose, Mars. But a lot of the stuff that they do, they're all over the place. They do look like the Keystone Cops from time to time, but they bumping into each other, shooting the long ball when it's ill-advised. Jordan Poole's shooting the 3 at the end of the game when you only need 2. Alex Sarr shooting the long ball, which I don't mind him shooting the long ball, but he's much better. He's much better closer to the basket than he is shooting the long ball. Now, if you want to add that dynamic to your game, bet. I don't take issue with that. I just would rather, if they had a coach with more cachet, I think that they would be a little bit more locked in. Because I think they're building something there in Washington. I think they got good talent. I just think that the coach that they got, I'm not sure if he's the guy.
All right, well, that is the Wizards. So our bottom 2 teams so far are the Pelicans and the Wizards. Now, fellas, we have a tie to break.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, we're getting into the heat of it now.
Pin, cover your ears because we have your Toronto Raptors and Damo, cover your ears too, because we have the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh, really?
Okay. I have the Hornets above the Raptors.
I had the Hornets above the Raptors as well.
I have a team below both of them, but I have the Hornets above the Raptors.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we got 2 Hornets. Chill, you got the Hornets as well?
I did have the Hornets. I had the Hornets below the Raptors. Yeah, I had a team below both of them too, but I had the Hornets below the Raptors.
Big Ox?
So, Chill, you got the Raptors better than the Hornets?
I do.
Yeah, I got the Hornets better than the Raptors.
Okay. Just to throw this out there, I almost put the Raptors 30. There are 2 active streaks. Yo, no, I'm being serious. Look, these are streaks in the NBA. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers 8-game winning streak. New York Knicks 8-game winning streak. Thunder 12-game winning streak.
Yeah, that's fake, but yeah.
But we know they're 12-1 in their last 13 games. And then we can get into other streaks. We have a 10-game losing streak, New Orleans Pelicans.
Yep.
And then we have the second longest streak in the NBA of 11. And that's 11 losses up in Toronto. When I see 11 losses, if the Pelicans just weren't a shit show, it would have been the Raptors.
I hesitate. Okay, prior to like the last like 3 or 4 games, because they've been just getting smoked the last 3 or 4 games. But prior to that, like they were losing close. Like if you want to give them moral victories, like they weren't just getting destroyed. So like I don't think they're that bad. Like I have them at like 27 or something. So like obviously they're not good. But I don't think
it's the injuries that have killed them, really. It's the injuries that have killed him.
Injuries plus Cooper Flag.
Injuries.
Harper, like
I mean, yes, it's injuries, but it's more injury. And yeah, it's their best player, but
Ron, you know the Wizards lost 16 straight games, right?
Emmanuel Quickly's been out for a really long time.
That's true. I forgot.
Like they're missing. Bruce Brown still hasn't played a game. I don't know if
he back. I've seen him. I've seen him get a
dunk.
Bruce
Brown hasn't played like the whole season.
Yeah. Okay. True.
Like I don't know if that makes much of a difference for them, but like it's not great. I just think they're tanking. Like that's what it is. I think they're tanking. I don't think they're trying to be good. But I don't think they're as bad as the Pelicans and the Wizards. But I do think they are pretty bad. They're just like they might be like the most ethical tanking team in the NBA. Like the game's close in the 4th, and then all of a sudden 6 minutes to go, they figure out to play basketball, and then they lose by 6. Like that's
we're actually trying to win. We're not purposely trying to lose. We're trying to win games.
It's tanking with teams.
They tried to win for 3.5 quarters, and then they decide to lose. That's what seems to happen to me, anyway. Before the last few games.
All right. Well, we got the Raptors and the Hornets. The Raptors are 28th, and the Hornets are 27th. So that's how we rocking right now. Next, moving up 2 slots. Would you check them out? Hey, Cooper Flag might not end up in Utah after all because they trending up right now.
I don't get how they moved up.
I don't neither.
Like, who thinks they're not that bad?
Yeah.
Well, they're still somebody had them at 22. Who is this?
Nobody had them at 22. Ron.
Would you like to reveal yourself?
Nobody had
secret contestant 22. Would you like to?
I think I'm at 26. I think I'm at 26 or 27.
Look, I'm trying not to be such an instigator in 2025, so I'm not going to out anybody. But if you want to mention
it is
your
2025, ain't it?
Yeah.
Was it you, Ox? Was it you?
Was what me?
Having the Jazz at 22.
You're making me second guess myself now. I'm double checking, even though I know I didn't. But
see, Morris, here in America, we don't have to reveal our vote.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
I don't see it. I don't see how they're not 28, to be honest. But
so who would you have over them? The Hornets and the Wizards?
No, the Hornets and the Raptors.
Yeah, I love her.
Would have
Hornets, Wizards.
The Jazz just suck. Like,
Yeah,
I had New Orleans and Washington behind them.
Wait. So the Wizards, the Raptors, the Pelicans, the Hornets, the Blazers aren't all worse than the Jazz?
I don't understand how you could think Portland are worse than Utah. I don't understand.
Portland actually kind of been hooping.
Toronto, I can understand. New Orleans and Washington, I definitely understand. Anyone else, nah. They suck. They're just bad.
I think they've lost 7 of their. Yeah, I think they've lost 7 of their last 9 games. They're getting blown out in games too.
They might be the worst defense I've ever seen.
I think the Jazz should definitely be somewhere in the 24 to 26 range.
Bro,
I think that's optimistic.
Ox, if and you being, I watched that Trailblazers game a couple of nights ago when they played against Utah. I was able to make it through. I was able to make it through halftime. That was as far as I could go. I
better than me.
Yeah, that was as far as I could. And the reason why, and I said this to Mars, you know, there was a time when the Western Conference went through these 2 teams, and I'm thinking, damn, how far we've come. This is where we are.
I remember you mentioned that. Yeah, I remember you mentioned
that. This is where we are now. Watching these 2 teams, I'm like, this is terrible. These two teams are awful. Utah can't stop anybody. They'll try to stop you later in the game, but they'll give up 67 in the half. They'll give up close to 70 at the half, and then they'll try to turn their defense on at the end. Colin Sexton, 1 minute he'll look like an all-star, and the next minute he looks like he can't start for a middle-of-the-road SEC team. I don't know what the story is with him. Keontae George, I am seeing a development. I am seeing it, but it's just not happening like I thought it would happen. And Walker Kessler, for all intents and purposes, I feel like he's wasting away in Utah, if I'm being honest with you. I do. I feel like he's wasting away there.
He's also one of the worst offensive players I've ever seen. But, yeah, they're just bad. Offensively, I think some of it is in terms of pursuing development. So they've gone away from some of the things that made them, like, I guess, so special last year in terms of the off-ball stuff. I think Larry Markkinen is, like, a big person who's suffering because of that. They're asking him to, like, make more decisions with the ball in his hands. He's not great, but I understand it helps him become a better player. Like I said, Walker Kessler is just bad on offense, but like he's like their only defender, so like you kind of have to have him out there. But he just makes your team so much worse on that other side of the ball. Cody Williams, for all intents and purposes, has just been bad. Isaiah Collier has just been bad. Filipowski's been.
Do you think they made a mistake on this kid Williams, Mars?
I didn't like the pick to begin with. Like, I thought he was a project. I didn't think he was going to be very good right away. I thought him playing in Utah would be helpful, but I just don't think his body's ready for the NBA. Like, he's just he's too frail. He's too thin. He's not strong enough. And people were like, the reason like a lot of people, I guess, were higher on him than I was, like, he shot like 40% from 3 in college, but it was like, he only shot wide open catch and shoot threes. Like, that's all he did. And like, he wasn't really much of a spacer. So it's like the numbers say he shoots better than he does. Like, he wasn't a 41% shooter in my eyes, which is like, I guess it's weird because like he factually shot 41%, but like he just didn't really shoot him. So he's not an outside shooter to me. Like, he was just someone who's like, he was a really good slasher and finisher, but he relied a lot on touch and finesse and acrobatics. And now he's in the NBA. He's 6'8", 185 or something. And it's like, he can't get anywhere on the court with his handle. So I think in time he can be good, but he just has to put on weight. He has to get stronger. But right now he's bad. And Isaiah Collier might be like the worst player in the league. So
worse than Scoot?
Yeah, Scoot is like the worst non-rookie. But Isaiah Collier might just be the worst overall player. Like, he's just bad. So like, generally, he's just bad at everything right now.
When you're on a bad team, man, it just highlights all your deficiencies. And when you're on a good team, that's what makes you on a good team, because they have a tendency to highlight everything that you do well. And a guy like Isaiah Collier, who I was high on in the draft, I thought he could start there right from the beginning. I thought they'd move off of Sexton just off the strength of them moving off him, not because Sexton couldn't play, but yeah, Collier that Jazz team that's a bad team, yo. That is all the way around.
You know, it's hard to look good on a bad team. Like,
it is.
If you can really look like a positive on a bad team, you're probably better than your numbers indicate.
And Ox, I didn't even bring up Lauri Markkinen. I forgot he played for the Jazz. That quick.
Yeah, he not having the greatest of years. Well, he's not having a Larry Markkinen type year. He's just having a mediocre.
I'm not sure what Danny's thinking though.
I know what Danny thinking.
So he's going for Cooper?
Is he
diamonds and pearls. That's what Danny thinking. Danny thinking I'm finna hit the jackpot.
I still think they should have cashed in Larry Markkinen, but it is what it is. Now I think his value is probably going down around the league, which I don't think is right. I think a contender could still use a Larry Markkinen, but I don't understand the thought process behind extending someone who's going to be 28 next season, and you're just punting away seasons with him. It doesn't really make sense to me, but.
And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to hold on to Laurie, I would expect you to be trying to build a better team, not necessarily through the draft. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm confused.
Well, if he was younger, then it would make sense. But he's almost 30 years old.
So, right, and that's why that's where the confusion comes from. Like, why wouldn't you trade Laurie and stock up on even more, whatever you get, draft picks or even more young players to do a complete rebuild? So it's like you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's confusing to me.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, we are almost out the projects. We like 2 blocks away. Hey, I'm speeding. I'm trying to get out of here, but I keep hitting red lights, stop signs, crackheads walking back and forth down the street. But here we go, y'all.
Come on, Ron. The light is green. Hit the gas, Ron. What are you doing? Hit the gas.
Have to make a stop though at the corner store in Portland.
Slow down, bro. Slow down and let the gold diggers count your spokes. What you speeding for?
You right. That's why we swinging through Portland. We swinging right through Rouge. And the Golden Dragon here in Portland. Here we go. Wow. The Portland Trailblazers are 25th on our power rankings, and they have slipped 2 spots since the last time we seen them.
Damn, they were at 23 before?
Yeah, I was thinking that's pretty high for what.
In the beginning of the season, Mars, they weren't bad. They were winning games, and they were really competitive in games. And then it just went the other way. Anthony Simons has not been good. And when I say not been good, I mean he's becoming a turnover machine. He's taking a lot of ill-advised shots. It's kind of taken away from what Shaedon Sharpe is. And it's what I told you before when I said that you hate Scoot. I know how you feel about Scoot, but I want to build this thing around Scoot and Shaedon Sharpe in their backcourt. I do.
Build around Scoot?
I do. I want to build this thing.
I don't hate Scoot. I just think he sucks.
Yeah, you think he's awful. Let me rephrase that, Mars. Let me rephrase that. You think he's awful. I want to build this thing around, in terms of their backcourt, I want to build this thing around Scoot and Shaedon Sharpe. And the DeAndre Ayton just looks like a guy that comes in and punches the clock. I'm here to get paid and I'm out. He doesn't really strike me as somebody that wants to really be a part of something that's winning. I'm just here to get paid and then I'm out. He doesn't really look locked in at all. And they're going to move off of Robert Williams at some point. This team, for all intents and purposes, were good initially, and then they just went the other way.
Chauncey Billups doesn't help. I still think he's the worst coach.
You think he sucks, Mars?
Yes, I think he's the worst coach in the NBA. The idea of pursuing Jeremy Grant ISOs and having Shaedon Sharpe and Scoot Henderson sit in the corner, that's not adding up to me. I'll give Scoot some bail in the fact that the 2 games Chauncey wasn't there, Scoot had his 2 best games of the season. So I might give him the out of Chauncey Billups is misusing him. But just in general, I just think Chauncey's terrible. But I also think the team is terrible. I think Shaedon Sharpe is grossly underutilized, especially just in terms of I don't view him as a shot creator. I don't think you could just put the ball in his hands and say, go to work. I don't think that's his game. But the amount of possessions where he's just out there, just spacing the floor while other people are operating an offense that they have no business running is disgusting to me. And I think they got pieces. I think you could view Scoot as a piece. I guess cool. Shaedon Sharpe for me is for sure a piece. Denny is only 24. I think he's still good. And Tamani Kamara is really, really good. Those 4 players, would be the ones who and Donovan Clingan. Let me not forget Donovan Clingan. Those 5 would be what I would be looking to build with. And Scoot is the one who's on the fringe. If we can get Dylan Harper, then bye Scoot. But Shaedon, Denny Avdia, Tamani Kamara, and Donovan Clingan, I think those 4 are the makings of, especially defensively, a nice core group. And then you could just push on with the superstar in the draft that you hopefully get, whether that's Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, or anyone else who you may get with the 3rd, 4th, 5th pick, whatever. But it's bad in Portland.
I just feel like with that backcourt that you have, and I know how you feel about Shaedon Sharpe, and Ox is a big fan of athletes too. But I feel like with that backcourt that you have, we could turn Scoot more into a distributor, and we're turning him more into a distributor, and we can utilize Shaedon's athleticism. We can speed the game up a little bit more and get him out in the open floor a little bit more, and turn them into more of a high wire act. And I think that would work in terms of them getting more buckets. Now, sure, you got your big man in Klingon, and then when the game slows down, we can run some offense for him because he actually does. He can play in the mid-range. He can play on the block. But I feel like they don't utilize Shaedon Sharpe's athleticism nearly as much as they should. He should be getting out in the open floor more than he does. Anthony Simons doesn't pass enough for him to be better, Shaedon Sharpe to be better in transition than he is. And I think that's one of their major problems.
I want to know what do y'all see when y'all see Shaedon Sharpe? Like when I see Shaedon Sharpe, I see that. So I see one of those more of a high flyer, get out in open court, jumping type of guy. Now I don't. So this is a comparison. I'm not saying that this is how good they are. He's more of a Derrick Jones Jr. than Bradley Beal as far as the position, and that's what I see. So I'm trying to figure out, what do y'all see? Should he be more of like a small forward, or like a 6-man type guy? Should they be looking to get somebody that's more of a, like what they had at CJ, a Devin Booker type prototype, a more of a traditional shooting guard? I don't see that when I see Shaedon Sharpe, and that's not a knock to him. I'm just curious to know, like, what do y'all see in Shaedon?
I see more capability than Derrick Jones. I know you weren't saying this is one-to-one comparison, but let's say if there was a spectrum and you got Bradley Beal on one end of the spectrum and Derrick Jones on the other, I would have him closer to the Bradley Beal side of the spectrum. In terms of what he can do with the ball in his hands. Now I understand the Derrick Jones thing because I don't think he's a two guard who you put the ball in there. I don't think he's Donovan Mitchell, where you can genuinely run the offense through him and his playmaking and pick and roll operation. I do think he's an off-ball player. But in terms of like development and stuff, I think he can play the two. I just think he's a legitimate off guard. He's not the modern day combo guard where you can run the offense with him. He can play point, he can play two. Shaedon is like a pure shooting guard. He's a maybe even a 2-3, but like that's what he is. He's a scorer who can play with limited dribbles, 2-3 dribbles. He's got 1 dribble pull-ups, 2 dribble pull-ups. He can attack closeouts, get to the rim. But you put the ball in his hands, I think you'll see more of his flaws. It's gonna sound weird when I say it, but I don't think he's as like good as an athlete as people think. And I know that sounds weird, but I don't think he's as good as an athlete as people think. But I still think he can be like a team's best pure scorer. I still think like on a legitimately good.
What kind of athlete do you think people think he is, Mars?
Because
I think he's a superior athlete. I don't think he's a good athlete.
I think people view him as one of like the S tier athletes in the NBA, like one of the like top 5 athletes in the league. Like that.
I think he could be that good. Yeah.
I don't view him as that good of an athlete. But
he got the highest vert on the dunk this year. At least I was like.
I think in terms of pure jumping ability, I think he's top 5. Like just pure explosiveness off the ground. I think he's top 5. Like that, he's in terms of just that getting up like for alley-oops, putbacks, all of those things. Like he's elite. But the other areas of athleticism, I don't think he stands out. Like he doesn't have that elite first step that the other great athletes have. I think that's why he's also not that good on the ball, because like his ability to actually just get by people with his first step just isn't really that. Like Scoot has a better first step than him. Like the other elite athletes, Jaden Ivey's, Jalen Green, Ja Morant's, etc., they all have a far superior first step to him. In terms of speed in the open floor, like he has good stride length, like he can cover ground. But in terms of like overall top speed, I don't think he matches like some of those other guys, especially speed with the ball. And in terms of like agility and dexterity, like I don't think he's as fluid in terms of like body control and stuff. Like
he's a little uncoordinated.
I wouldn't say uncoordinated. I would just say he's more stiff, is what I would say, in terms of like just fluidity. Like he's not going to extend around defenders and like be able to use his body to get to unorthodox finishing angles like other athletes can. So he's the high flyer type athlete, but not the overall all around athlete, is what I would say. Which is like he's still an elite athlete, just mainly because of that high flying. But in terms of like the best athletes in the NBA, I don't think he's as well rounded as an athlete as some of those other guys like a Giannis, a Zion, who I still think is a better athlete. Jalen Green, I think, is a better athlete. Amen Thompson is a better athlete. I would say Jaden Ivey is a better athlete. Like, there's a lot of guys who I would say is not a lot. There's like 15, 20 guys who I think I could go down a list and say are better athletes than Shaedon Sharpe. So still a great athlete, just not the S tier that I think some people put him in because of how high he jumps.
I think he's...
To go off that point, I would say that he's more of a play finisher than a sort of...
That's why I want to speed the game up.
Yeah, exactly.
Speed the game up.
When you've got one of your most athletic players sat in the corner when paint touches is probably where he's going to be most effective at his athleticism, and it's not really well advised.
You get him attacking a slanted defense. You get someone who can get two on the ball and reverse it to Shaedon Sharpe attacking a closeout. You're gonna have like a 26-point per game scorer on like limited touches. Like, he'll be like the epitome of a two guard. Like, he'll touch the ball 50 times a game and he'll score 26 on like 18 shots. Like, that's
someone who needs to feed off rather than
if you start relying on him to create his own advantages, or you just have him as a spot up guy, like, he could score, but it's just not going to be the same. But
I think he could develop that though.
Points per minute, he does.
And I think he could develop that. And when I watch him in the clutch, and when I watch him, and when I watch him, if I'm being honest with you, I think he could be what Jalen Green is for Houston. I think he could be a better version of that. And
I think he can be better. I think he can be better in terms of like he's the better player, but in terms of like the on-ball shot creation that Jalen Green.
We're not doing that, Mars. No.
Jalen Green is one of the best at creating a shot for himself, and then one of the worst at making the shot he creates.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's a very 100%,
bro. 100%.
Like, he creates so
$1 million moves, $10 shots,
and it's like, oh, okay. But like, 100%. I don't think Shaedon has that level of shot creation that Jalen Green has. So you can put the ball in his hands. But I do think he can be better than Jalen. Sorry.
And that's why I want to speed the game up so I could get him out in transition to get him easier looks. And if I could get him playing with a guy like Klingon, who when I saw him at UConn, Klingon can stretch the defense. So when he stretches the defense, he keeps defenses. When I say stretch the defense, Mars, you can stretch the defense in the mid-range. You 100% get a big man and keep him.
I still think you're being optimistic,
right?
But
with that being said, when you stretch the defense and keep the defense honest, now I got a guy in Shaedon who I can run dribble handoffs with, right? Who I can run split action with and get one dribble pull-ups where he doesn't have to do a lot of shot creating. When I watch him, I just feel like he could be a better version of what Jalen Green is in Houston. That's why I want to speed the game up and make Scoop more of a distributor than a scorer.
All right, y'all. We had the Blazers at 25. Now at 24, we have falling 3 spots, the Brooklyn Nets.
I had them here. Yeah, this is where I had them.
It's the fire sale.
Yeah,
it's about that time.
Like, the whole league knows what they're doing. The whole league knows what they're doing. Like anticipated, they start the season well. They start the season well, and then it's time to just get rid of everyone on the roster. So they're right on cue. They're right on their timeline. I still think they're the best of the bad tanking teams. Like,
Mars, you're not gonna do this to me, Mars, because when I told you that they were gonna suck and it was time to get rid of Ben Simmons, you're like, no, that's not happening.
No, because I said Ben Simmons was going to start the season and they was going to ruin their tanking opportunities and they'd have to blow up the team. That's what I said. And you were telling me that they weren't even going to start good. That's what you were trying to tell me.
No, I told you that I said wait till this team.
And you said if that happens, then Ben Simmons is getting traded. Right, that's what you said. If that happens. I was telling you it was going to happen.
Only except it did
happen. I knew they were going to start good. I believe.
Hey, them boys ain't start good. Them boys started off hot. the Nets came out.
It was great. It was amazing.
And they sure are averaging 20 games.
So 3 games into the season, beat Milwaukee. 5 games into the season, beat Memphis. Turn around a couple games later in overtime, beat Memphis. Oh no, 3 games later, beat Memphis again. Lose to Boston in overtime, but they took them down to the wire. The next night, lose to the Cavs, but they only lose to the Cavs by 5.
I know, but they lost to the Nuggets in overtime as well.
3-game winning streak. Beat the Kings. Damn. In Sacramento. Beat the Warriors in Golden State. And then go down to the desert and beat Phoenix. 3-game winning streak.
And then that's when everything started. That's when they started blowing up the team. They went on a 3-game winning streak. It was like, slow down. We're not doing this.
No.
And then they started just they're now.
Then they beat the Warriors too. Then they go up and beat.
Yeah, they beat the Warriors. They beat the Warriors.
They went up there and beat the Warriors.
As of late, they beat the Bucks without Giannis and Dame. I remember that because
that's the second time they beat the Bucks.
Ben Simmons getting doubled at the 3-point line, gravity and stuff, as they say. So like they're not bad. They're a good team. Jordi Fernandez is doing a really good job. But yeah, they are trying to lose. So Cam Johnson will be gone soon. I expect them to buy out Ben Simmons, but they also might just play him for the rest of the season and just let him walk. I don't know what the plan is, but like they are trying to lose. But I think they'll probably stay here. Like I don't think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league, regardless of their record. But I think they're going to be better than all the other teams below them. Like they're just better than them.
So Schroeder's gone, Finney Smith's gone, Cam is next.
Which Cam? Because it could be both.
Well, Johnson's first.
I don't think they get off Thomas.
They keep it Cam Thomas. You don't think nobody wants Cam Thomas though?
No, absolutely.
You don't think nobody puts a bid in for him?
I think a team asked, but like he's making so little. It's like, what are you getting back? Like, is a team giving up a first-round pick for Cam Thomas? I don't know. So I don't know if they get. I don't know if they get off of.
Moss, he goes for 2 ones. He don't go for a 1. He goes for 2 ones. Are you kidding me? We got a 25 a game guy. That's on his rook deal. He goes for 2.
He a guy that you could bring off the bench instant 20.
Are you kidding me, Ron? With the number 26 pick in the 2026
he's an expiring
draft?
Contract. That's why I said that.
Okay, so
that's why because they didn't extend him. So like, is a team giving up first round picks? But I don't like if a team trades for him. Is he restricted because it's his rookie contract? I don't know the rules.
I think so.
Okay. Well, here's the thing: him because he was a late first round pick, so his deal different. So his deal is different than a guy who was guaranteed 4 years. I think those late first round picks. I think it's 2 years, and I think it's a team option after the 3rd year. I think it's a team option. It's 2 or 3 years, and I think it's a team option after the 3rd year. So I think he might be an unrestricted free agent after this.
That's why I think if he is, then that's why I think it's risky. Not that he's not worth first round picks, especially for a team that needs scoring, especially like off the bench. But just in terms of like how long are you actually getting him for is where I guess I have hesitation. But like he's a great scorer, like amazing scorer.
I'll probably hang on to him.
Remember too, though, Ox. If a team is trading for him, he's a kid, right? And coming on this rook deal. If a team is trading for him, they ain't trading for him to move off of him. We building around him. So he's 21, 22 years old. We trying to extend this kid. So I don't think it's a big deal to give up a 1 or 2 ones for him. So if you're the Miami Heat, would you give Brooklyn 2 ones for Cam Thomas? I know I would.
Nah, because we already got Tyler Hero. If I trade for Cam, I'm trading for him to build around a major piece like Giannis or a healthy Joel. They got Tyrese, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not taking him to build around him. I'm taking him as a piece, and I'm building around somebody else.
You adding to it. You're adding him.
Building with him, though. Maybe not around him, but building with him.
Yeah. He's obviously an addition. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously somebody that we're going to value, but I'm not getting him if I already don't have a solidified franchise player.
So, fair enough.
I think the only reason Ben Simmons is still there is because no one wants that contract.
Hey, chill out.
I'm Mars and this Ben Simmons stuff. I'm sick of you, Mars. I have had it with you in this Ben.
He's good.
I'm not saying he's bad, but I think he's the only player they haven't traded yet, which has got an above average contract.
Right here.
He's making like 36
I'm
million,
done with it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this bit. I'm sick of Mars.
He's still good. These guys are haters. He's making 14.
Sick of Mars and this.
Shout out to Ben. He's still good. I don't care. He's still good. You guys are haters. He's still good.
I'm talking about I would have kicked him out the facility months ago, like before the season even started. So I wouldn't even
Ben Simmons or both.
No, Ben Simmons. I never kicked Mars out of nothing. I'm talking, but I'm like, if you like, let's say he's having a good season, okay, he's having a solid season, you know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't even have known this because he would have been gone by now. Like, I'm eating that contract. You're gone. Get out of my facility. Don't ever come back. You're not welcome here.
Haters, man.
Damn. Well, y'all, we have yet another tie for 22nd, and this is between 2 Midwest teams. In the Eastern Conference, we got the almighty Chicago Bulls and the great Detroit Pistons. Now, before we get into this, I need to let you guys know that The show is brought to you by the good guys over at PrizePicks, where you can run your game, control your game, and ultimately win your game. When you play $5, you can get 50 back instantly, but only when you use promo code PANEL. Now, I got to ask you guys, who are you going to when it's in the clutch? Who are you relying to when you need one more shot? When you've hit all 5 of your picks and you need somebody to hit that 6th pick to take your contest up to 1,000 times winning profits, who are you going to rely on? Well, the thing about it is with PrizePicks, you get a chance to look at all player projections. You get a chance to look at their stats. You get a chance to look at what they do in certain situations and how they perform, especially throughout the season. So I encourage you to download PrizePicks, use promo code PANEL, and new customers will receive a nice, sneaky special bonus when they join the action. And every day on our show, Big Ox, Chill, Mars, and Dub hosts will be locking up our lineups and sharing our picks of the night and who we think will ultimately be the sweetest prize pick of the day. So what are you waiting for? Download PrizePicks, sign up using promo code PANEL, and join us in breaking down our selections and predictions of who will come out on top every single night. Let's get into it, y'all. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know how we gonna do things. Let's craft our winning contest for the day. And by the way, our records, well, we all took AO last night. But our records as of right now, Chill, you're in last place, but nearly. You've caught up. You made up some ground. You're not the Pelicans. You climbing. You're 4-9. And at 5-8 is me, Ox, and Mars. So we're all right there in the middle of the pack, the bottom of the top, however you want to classify it. But let's get into it.
Your 5 of 8 is different, though. Like it's a lower quality 5 of 8.
Yeah. Is he playing some bums? Is that what you're saying, Mars?
Like if we were to do true shooting, like me and Ox have made 5 threes. So like we've got 15 points. You've made 5 twos, so you've got 10. But like we're both shooting the same percentage. We're both
I'm getting to the strike.
But like
I'm like Prime Horton.
Like me and Ox taking demons, and you trying out here to take layups, and you still blowing them. Like
smoking them.
That's what it is.
Speaking of demons, y'all. See, I wanted to. Well, I'm just saying. Let me go first.
Go ahead. You got it.
I know that the Knicks are playing the Jazz, so I should take a home run and go with OG's PRA.
For sure.
I'm not going to do that.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with Domantas Sabonis.
Of course you are.
You ain't even look to see what Filipowski's got. You ain't even look.
That's a good point, Mars.
I doubt he has anything, though.
No, we're gonna stick with Domantas Sabonis. Demon PRA 44.5.
Doesn't it get old, Ox?
No, it never gets old.
Does it never get boring to you?
Right, we got the best. We got the best player in the NBA. I'm gonna stick with him. Who's next?
No Joel, so he gonna be feasting on Andre Drummond.
Right, no Joel. That's a fact. And who's got? Who's next?
No, it's on you, Mars.
Yeah, no Embiid. I don't even know what games are on. Let me look.
Let me show you real quick.
Oh, thank you.
I just thought
Chicago, Knicks, Utah, Toronto, Brooklyn, Denver, Atlanta, Detroit, Orlando, Miami, New Orleans, Houston, Dallas, and Sac, Philly.
What's Kyrie at?
Let's see.
What's the demon points?
29.5.
I don't know about that.
Fred VanVleet locking him up.
And Thompson suspended.
Yeah.
2 games.
Look at this, Mars. Put some money on Kyrie and Fred. 11.5.
Fred passing the ball? Hell no. I saw a Jalen Green Kyrie points combo. If you go down
46.5 right here.
Kyrie can get me 40. I believe in Jalen to get 7, surely. Yeah, let me get a points combo. Let me get that points combo.
Let's do it. Chill.
I'm taking Lauri Markkanen and busting cat ass tonight.
Ooh.
That's which way.
Some blind faith. That's some blind faith from out of nowhere.
Him busting his ass tonight because he busted his ass last time he saw him in Utah. And for some reason, I don't know what it is, but Lauri Markkanen is actually pretty good, and he's actually pretty good when they play against the Knicks.
So do you want this more than 20 and a half?
I'm taking more than 20 and a half. Yes, sir. In
Let
fact,
me see the demon. Yeah, let's see what the demon.
Where the demon at? Let's see. What's the demon?
24.
Yes, I'm taking more than that.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
I'm definitely taking more than that. And there's another game that I saw. Ops. There's another game that that Dallas Houston game, but Luka's not playing. So let me see what Atlanta and Denver looks like.
You putting in 2 today, Chill?
Oh,
you putting in overtime?
I'm sorry,
I mean, if you want to put in overtime,
we here for it. We here for it.
I apologize.
Nah, go ahead.
I ain't gonna.
Who you said Atlanta?
Atlanta and Denver.
Okay, let's check out Atlanta first, and I'll go through Denver.
Atlanta's been rolling.
I think they got a combo with Clint and Jokic on rebounds. It's like 22 and a half.
Yeah.
Might be more than that. It should be more than that.
I'm looking at Dyson Daniels. What we got with Dyson Daniels? 16
we got 12. We got 12 points, 16 and a half,
16 and a half, and
20 and a half.
They ain't got nothing for his steals. Crazy.
Yeah, no, they got
probably do something. They got something down here.
No, they got something for that boy steals.
1.5.
What that is?
No, they don't.
That's 3.5.
4 steals.
2 steals for the Goblin.
I mean, they are playing against the Nuggets. You know, I mean, Russ, my man, 100 grand.
Wait, you know what? That 3.5. First of all, that 3.5 he averages 3. So it wouldn't be ridiculous for him to get 4. It's not ridiculous.
Russ gonna give him 1 or 2, and Jamal Murray gonna give him 1 or 2.
Not after what we saw a couple of nights ago.
Too. I'm like,
oh no,
it's a lot of averages too.
Yeah, it is.
Russ had a perfect triple double the other day. You can't be spitting hay like that, and I'm not having it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means he's never gonna turn the ball over again. Like, if you think
I'm liking
a lot of averages.
Exactly.
I'm liking the Dyson Daniel. I'm liking the Dyson Daniel Demon steal, them 3.5 steals. I'm either liking that or what's the line on Jamal Murray?
Okay, I'm about to go right there. I saw for Jalen Johnson.
Take the less.
You saying Dyson gonna have him in jail? Is that what you saying?
Yes, that is one thing that must be factored in, but also
Jamal been looking a little bit better.
Yeah, he has, but
22.5
all less.
Mm-hmm.
22.5 points, 7 assists,
less.
30 points.
1.5 blocks.
Less.
I would never touch that block.
I'm gonna start calling this boy Lester.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Lester.
I'm taking the less on the points in the set.
Shot at Jamie Vardy.
So you a hater.
Yeah, I'm taking the less on the points and assists. Mm-hmm.
All right, that's what we got with Jamal. All right, we're gonna put on one more. Ox.
What's up?
Go to Cameron Scatterboo.
Cameron Scatterboo.
Cameron, Mr. Scatterboo. You gotta go up.
Oh, it's a different sport?
Yeah. It's college football. Today's the playoffs and whatnot. So,
Chad, when I ought to do a different sport, Ron said no.
All the way to the left.
L-host.
Garbage. Trash.
There he is. You see him. Cameron Scatterboo. We're going to call him Cameron Scattermoo. More.
From Arizona State, the running back. He nice, too.
Damn, why you only go 58 minutes to do it?
The game about to start?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Where they playing at?
It's a neutral location.
Yeah, it's a bowl game. I'm just saying, do you know where it's at?
Nah, I'm not sure. But also too, Ox, I mean, we already have 5 on here, so why not add one more? We went with Jamal Murray, but I'm gonna go with somebody who's gonna go more with his PRA. We mentioned him already, but the best guard for the Denver Nuggets, Russell Westbrook. Just go to his PRA and give me more.
You don't even know what it is. You just say more.
Look, in Russ we trust.
Where to sell this from? Why are you trying to sell this from?
That's easy.
What is that? 14, 7, and 7?
Ox, that game is in Atlanta too, Ox, where the Falcons play.
Oh, it is. Okay, I figured it had to be somewhere on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
This game's in Atlanta too. What a
What's the demon
play?
PRA? What's the demon PRA?
Here go Mars,
please,
man.
Mars.
Let's
please,
just see.
Mars.
Let's just see. Let's just see.
Hey, look, if we do the Russ demon PRA, this don't count towards
Not too much more.
29 and a half.
You don't
I don't
think
hate that.
you don't think you can have 18, 6, and
Oh,
7?
wait. What was
I
that?
don't hate that at all.
It's actually 34 now.
Oh,
Yeah, that
Why
might,
did you just change that?
that might be a little much.
okay,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's on you right now, man. I thought it was 29 and a half. I don't.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It's two demons. They have a
It
ultra
changes
demon,
the odds again.
and they have a they have an
double
ultra demon like a
What do
a
you get?
demon
If you go,
demon.
what do you get if you do the double demon? I just want to see what the prize is.
You got to click them, Ox.
Yeah, you are selected.
Ron,
I think you gonna do it, man.
Yo, nah, we ain't doing this. It's a sucker bet.
Hey,
Ron,
we
this Ox, this is
go
a sucker bet. No, Ox, don't do this,
going
Ox. This is a sucker bet. No, we're not doing this. No, it's a sucker
Let's
bet.
get
yo,
this
bro.
chicken. We going trick.
No, we not, Ron. No, we are not.
Take it back to some
All right,
more
so-
times in 2017.
No, we are not.
Twice as much.
Man,
No,
Ox,
don't do
throw that on there, man. Look,
Yeah,
chances make
yeah,
champions.
there we go.
What, the 34 and a half?
Yeah. Yo, it doubles it.
That's what I'm saying.
One more
but
time,
it
one more
doesn't
time.
It doesn't double
Hold
it
on,
when you
go-
don't hit.
All right, go back one more time. Just go back to the
Which we are
29
not
and a
gonna
half.
hit on this, Ox. We not.
Go back to the 29. So we're all in congruence that Russ can hit this. Click that, Ox.
I
No,
think
we're not.
I think
What? 29 and a half for Russ?
I think
I believe in him getting 35. Like, I don't know what's
I
going
don't.
on.
This right
Russ
here.
gonna
All
have
right,
like
come on. We'll
22,
do this
8,
one.
and
We'll
8.
do this one. But when he does this and we miss out on that extra 1,300,
We didn't miss out on nothing. You can't miss on something you didn't have. You can't. You
He
can't
had
miss
16,
something
10,
you
and
never
10 last game. I'm just throwing that into the ether.
Exactly.
had.
He did it last game.
As your financial advisor, I'm advising you
Oh my God.
to relax.
You guys are haters.
you're fired. Mars. Hello, friend. You are my new financial advisor. What do you think I should do?
I'll take you to the promised land. That's what I'll do.
He has some great financial advice.
Whoa,
Bro,
we gonna
Mars-
be
Mars
on
is
the street.
Mars is selling dreams he can't afford.
Exactly. That's what
Yeah.
Mars doing. He shot.
Hey,
Mars is shopping for champagne with beer money. That's what he doing.
Oh man, it's nothing better than a dream that you can't buy. Let's go. So Mark, we'll leave it at 29 and a half. We'll leave it at 29 and a half.
Russ has hit this already this season 3 times. So that means he's gonna do it 4 times. Like, that's just how it works.
He's not gonna do it tonight. I ain't saying he ain't gonna do it again. He's not gonna do it tonight.
I'm just saying Dyson Daniels is gonna have Jamal Murray in jail. He's not gonna be nowhere near Russell Westbrook. So it's like Russell Westbrook gonna have free reign. The rookie gonna be trying to guard him. He's gonna be running circles around that
Just
board.
take these 5.5 rebounds.
What is the 5.5 rebounds, Ox? What are we doing with that? What's the demon on that?
The demon on that? I was going to the goblin, but all right.
Oh,
6
D'Lo's
and a half.
playing tonight?
Oh, I'll take 6.5
Who?
rebounds from Russ.
D'Lo's playing tonight for Brooklyn.
Yeah, there's potential.
Shout out D-Lo. All right, but this is what we gonna do, y'all. We got DeMontis Sabonis 44.5 PRA. Yes, that is a demon pick. We are going more. You guys probably guessed that this was going to be on here. Then we got Kyrie Irving plus Jalen Green points combo 46.5. Between both of them going more. We got Lauri Markkanen 24.5 demon picks. It's a point. It's 24.5 points. It's a demon pick, and we got him going more. Jamal Murray, 30 points plus assists less. Then we got Cameron Scottaboo, baby. 104.5 yards, rushing yards. We got him going more. He gonna cook Texas today. And then last but not least, we got Russell Westbrook, PRA, 24.5. Demon, it should really be 34.5. But we're gonna take our wins how we can get them. All right, Ox, what does 20 get us?
1.3. Well, 1.4.
Now imagine if you took the 34.5 for us. That would be
It'd be 2.7.
I guess we don't believe in Russ to get 30-point triple-double today. Like he has
Can we just point out that Ron thought I was too young to gamble? That's why I didn't get a pick. I'm just putting that on there.
All right,
I mean,
go ahead and run
me,
that.
and I'm 12, so I think.
Well, that's just irresponsible.
Yeah. Nah, it's because I make.
I think Ron is proven time and time again that he's irresponsible.
I've just got no motion, I guess. No motion. Mars has motion. I don't have no motion. So
actually,
he let Joe get 2 picks, but you got none.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, real quick, I'm not saying you don't have any motion. I just would like to know, can I get an introduction to my man down here? I've been up here with my guy for an hour.
I mean, Ox, if you would have punched the clock on time, you would have got the proper introduction at the chat and everybody up here got.
See what we see? This is what I'm talking about.
No.
I mean, he makes a good point.
Like, chill, he walking in late to practice talking about what was the first drill y'all did.
He makes a good point. Like, you're not wrong.
No, you're right, Mark. You're right. Just my bad. My laptop was tripping, but still. Can this please?
Well, good job you introduction because I just got called Mars's cousin and then we moved on. That's literally just what happened.
No, not cousin. Brother. Half brother. Yeah. That's what he is.
As you can tell, identical. Look, same.
But Ox, in case we got new people in here that don't know who Jude is, once again, Jude is the man behind the scenes that
I know Jude.
Yes.
Now I've got big. It's I call myself the Andre Iguodala 2015 finals. I get put in garbage minutes and then somehow become finals MVP by the end. So that's how
that's crazy.
To put a face to face. That's what's up. I know
that was from a Mac 10 right there. Like you better.
I think you deserve the finals MVP. I wouldn't say that about you, but hey.
All right, y'all. Before we jump back into the rankings, remember we do have a tie, and the tie is between the Chicago Bulls and the Detroit Pistons. But before we get to that, in chat, I'm about to run a poll right now, so you guys let me know who you think it is. But we'll ultimately settle that. But before we do, I got a super chat from Maradi Tanzambi. Maradi said, "Chill. East versus West, all time. Who wins? You have to have played it in either conference for a majority of your career." 10 plus years.
All right, so let's see. If we're talking about all-time greats, so Jabbar is a Western Conference guy because he played in Milwaukee. Milwaukee was in the West when he played in Milwaukee.
Duncan at the 4.
Yeah, Duncan is at the 4. He played in the West his whole career. Brian at the 2. He played in the West.
Then Magical Steph at the 1, depending on which way. Yeah.
Magic played in the West his whole career. And then at the small forward spot, let's see. James has not been in the West for 10 years. He's only been out there for 7.
6, 7, yeah.
So James is out.
Yeah, I was thinking KD.
Yeah, prior.
KD's more than 10 years.
Clark will play the 3.
KD.
No. Yeah, KD. Yes, KD will be at the 3. Right. So then in the East.
Shout out to Baylor.
So just doesn't make the roster. That's crazy.
Over Jabbar, sorry.
Over Jabbar, hell nah.
Play him at the 4.
No, that's what we got. That's why we got Duncan.
Hakeem better than him.
Duncan or Dirk at the 4.
Hakeem's better than him.
But he ain't better than the dude at the 5.
Okay, he played next to Ralph Sampson. He can play the 4.
Yeah, and then they fell in the hole.
He's better than Tim Duncan.
I'm sticking with.
If I speak, I'm in trouble about that one.
I'm sticking with Duncan at the 4. And then at the 5 in the East, Chamberlain. He played in. Wait a minute.
He was only in Philly for a few years. He was in the West.
Yeah, that's right.
Head sacks.
Bill Russell. In San Francisco.
Bill Russell.
Yes. Hang on, Mars.
Third.
Let's see. Because Shaq played in the West for 8 years.
What about Artis Gilmore?
No.
Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Artis.
Bill Russell played in the East for 13 years. So Russ at the 5.
There you go.
Let's see. Who at the 4? Barkley.
No, that's pretty.
Yeah.
How long was he in the East?
Played 8 years in the East.
Yeah, you have to be 10, right?
It said 10 plus, yeah.
Sounds like it's going to be honest.
Yeah, wait a minute. Because the other power forwards played in the West.
Yeah. Go ahead and throw that boy on there.
I was just about to say Kevin McHale.
Oh, well, see, the thing about it is Kevin McHale don't got DPOIs and MVPs and in-season tournament wins.
Giannis is better than Kevin McHale, so yes.
Which he is.
How about that?
He's also better than Barkley.
Jude, you said you don't know?
No, he isn't.
I said I'd back it. I said I'd have Giannis at the 4.
Okay.
I'll take.
Don't try to put me in the guts.
So Russell at 5. Giannis.
It's pretty comfortable. She just threw me on there.
Russell at the 5, Giannis at the 4, James at the 3, Jordan at the 2.
Oh yeah, that was. I've just said something. I'd bird over LeBron.
So we're not starting Bird at the 3.
If you want to put one at the 1 and Bird at the 3.
No, I don't.
True.
I know.
Wait a minute. Can I put?
I'll
take. That means I got to take. That means I got to take James over Isaiah Thomas at the 1.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
You know what? And that's a good point right there. Get Giannis ass out of here. Put Braun at the 4, and let's run.
No, we're not.
Really, Bird would be the 4, but
either way, Giannis ain't making the squad.
Giannis at the 4. I do like that, Moss. Even though as much as I like Isaiah Thomas, I'll put James at the 1, Jordan at the 2.
Bucky's not getting a shout.
Bird at the 3, Giannis at the 4, Russell at the 5. We rolling.
Watch out.
We're okay. We're okay with knocking Isaiah Thomas out of here, but Giannis has to stay. This is sick.
Giannis
got no competition.
Matter of fact,
better than Isaiah.
First and foremost, to your point, Ox, Giannis is off the crew. Barkley is at the 4 for me. Okay.
Barkley was in the West.
Okay, Barkley played 8
Philly.
years.
He didn't play 10.
And then he wouldn't play for the Suns, and then he wouldn't play for the Rockets.
He played 3 years. He played 3 years. He played 3.5 years in Phoenix, and he played 4 years, I think, in Houston. Yeah, he played 4 years. But the majority of his career, he played in the East.
Wait.
The chat said he had to play 10 years in
it said 10 plus.
Wait. Are we saying that Charles Barkley is better than Giannis?
I'm saying that.
There's no way you believe that. There's no way you think Charles.
This is the year.
And I love Charles. I'm higher than Charles on most. I won't allow no Charles slander. But
is Charles Barkley better than Jokic too?
Is Charles Barkley better than Joker?
Yeah.
Today, if Joker's career ended today,
who's the better basketball player? Who's better?
Do you remember? I don't know if you remember Charles Barkley. I don't. To be honest with you,
I never saw him play live, so it's not about
right. I don't think you know how good Barkley really was.
I watched Charles Barkley.
Barkley was a top 2 player in the world for a long time.
Okay,
that was going on.
Is he
so if I had to choose between the 2 of those guys in their prime, Barkley.
Hey, chill. Hold on. Chill.
Charles Barkley.
Wait.
Yes, Charles Barkley was fantastic. He wasn't the passer that Joker was. No, I'm not saying that. Better rebounder. Better in transition.
Hey, where's 2025 chill? Where's the Superchats? 2025 chill. That's what I need. This is bad. Charles Barkley's better than Jokic and Giannis? Okay.
Yes.
Sure. So you got all 3 of these guys on the table. You can draft any 3 of them in their prime. You're absolutely taking Charles Barkley?
Taking Barkley.
Charles Barkley would have Charles Barkley would have absolutely destroyed Jokic.
What we got going on right now is we got recency bias. So because what you're seeing right now from Joker is fantastic. I won't argue that. I think Joker is amazing in what Joker's doing. You guys don't remember. I was around when Barkley was playing. He was a oh my goodness, man. How good Barkley was in transition, how good Barkley was as a ball handler, how good Barkley was as a passer, as a bucket getter on the glass. He was dragging those.
Giannis is good at those things too.
He was dragging, and Giannis was good, and Giannis is good at those things, 100%. But here's
never seen Jokic make a dime in his life. So
if only Jokic could pass. Damn it, man! If only
can't score at the rim, can't pass.
At least I don't think Chill said any of those things. Y'all stop being so dramatic.
But at least Charles Barkley's an elite 2-way player though. So obviously that makes up the gap because obviously he was a special defender.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Oh, he's not. Oh, damn.
No, he wasn't. No, he.
If only Giannis was. It's a shame he's not.
And Giannis is great on the defense. Giannis is great on the defensive end.
Interesting.
But I mean, when you're talking about a guy who can dominate the game in the power forward era, because Giannis didn't have to do that. But Giannis is dominating the game in a different era, 100%. But he didn't have to deal with Karl Malone. He didn't have to deal with Tim Duncan. He didn't have to deal with Chris Webber. He didn't have to deal with Antonio McDyess. He didn't have to deal with Dirk
How much
Nowitzki.
did Charles Barkley deal with Tim Duncan?
He didn't have to deal with any of them dudes.
Charles Barkley was on his last legs by the time Tim Duncan.
But he still had to deal with them dudes. He still did.
Giannis played Tim Duncan.
When did Giannis play Tim Duncan?
2016.
that was
2016. He played him 2015.
Okay, and 1997 was one of Charles Barkley's last seasons. Like he was
Barkley
done by that
point.
Like, he
Barkley
dealt with Tim Duncan. Like he barely played him.
Barkley played 5 more years after that. After 1990.
How many were good?
I mean, how many were
by
bad?
By the time 98 came around, Charles Barkley.
Yeah, by the time we get to Houston, it was a wrap.
He got to Houston, like he had like that 1 year they blew the 3-1 lead and stuff. But like after that, like he wasn't good anymore. So like we're saying he dealt with Duncan. It's like they were in the league at the same time.
Yeah, he still played against him. And what you mean? If I'm in the league playing against him, he had to deal with Malone. He had to deal with Chris Webber. He had to deal with Antonio McDyess.
It's a disingenuous point. That's what I'm saying. It's a disingenuous point.
How was it disingenuous? Because he didn't play against him in his prime. I'm sorry if he didn't play against him in his prime. He still had to deal with him.
They overlapped in the league at the same time. It's like it's not the same. As
he still played against him. Just because I didn't play against him in his prime, because I can say the same thing about Joker. Joker played against Tim Duncan. He didn't play against him in his prime.
Yeah, and I would never say, hey, but he still had an era of great bigs because he played against Dwight Howard and Tim Duncan. I would never do that because that's disingenuous. I would never be like, he played KG. Like, I wouldn't do that. That's disingenuous.
Okay, so the reason why your point is invalid, Maud, is because I'm not saying that Dwight Howard and Joker are the same, because one, in 2015, Dwight Howard was still awesome.
Okay.
Joker had just shown up. Duncan, on the other hand, when in 2016, when he played against Joker, he was over. Barkley, when he played against Tim Duncan in 1997-98, he was still starting on a playoff team. That was going on. So it wasn't like he was finished.
So
yes.
Tim Duncan in 2016. He was starting on a 67-win team. So by that same argument, Tim Duncan in 2016 was starting on a 67-win team.
And he was finished, Mars. That was his last season in the league.
So how was he starting for a team that went 40-1 at home and was the second best team in the NBA?
I'm sorry, because they had Kawhi Leonard on the crew. That's why. And they also had Kawhi Leonard on their crew.
He was their second best defender, though. Tim Duncan was their second best defender. Tim Duncan.
Yeah, that's because that's because he didn't have a lot of responsibility at that point.
Okay.
Because he was older.
He was still one of the 15 best defenders in the league.
At that point, at 2016, you still
name 15 better.
I don't know if I can name 15 better than him because I can't do it off the top of my head. But when I think about during that time,
I shouldn't expect you to just know the 15 in 2016. That's fair. But he was one of them. I can promise you he was. There wasn't 15 better defenders than Tim Duncan.
But I think we're getting off. But I think we're getting off the subject here, because what we're forgetting that we live in a time of real time right now. If we had, I'm trying to remember if we had analytics back in 1992, if we had analytics in 1990, if we had analytics like we do today, and we had all the stuff that we're having today, if we had that stuff when we had a 6'5" guy running around averaging 25 and 11 in a big man league, being the transition player that he was. And I'm not arguing that Joker isn't a great transition player. I'm not arguing that Joker isn't a great rebounder. And I'm damn sure I'm not arguing that Joker isn't a great passer. But if we had a guy who was glass cleaning like Charles Barkley was at this time, 6'5", 6'6", running breaks, being able to be the one-on-one scorer that he was, being able to knock down mid-ranges like he did, not the defender that Giannis was, but the effect that he had on the glass, the effect that he had on overall teams, going up against teams like the Detroit Pistons, the Bulls, and handling his own and being arguably the best power forward in the game at that time. When he was doing that, I mean, I think we would have a totally different conversation about Charles Barkley today. Charles Barkley is the funny fat guy on TV. People forget who he was. And there was an argument, during that time when Charles Barkley was playing that he was the best player in the world. That was a real conversation, a serious conversation.
Yeah, but he wasn't. So like
he wasn't, but it was a conversation.
Yeah, people had the conversation, I guess,
just like Giannis, I don't think is the best player in the world, but it's a conversation because
he was the best player in the world at some point. You were saying he was the best player in the world 2 years ago.
21.
Yeah, so he was. But if analytics were a thing back when Barkley played, he never even would have won an MVP.
Is that true?
Yeah, because MJ cleared him in every single stat. Analytically, every single one. Like, it's not even close.
So if we're doing that, Mark, then
far and away the best.
So if that's true, then that means that a lot of guys wouldn't have won league MVPs. A lot.
Yeah, if you want to say if there was analytics at the time, yes. If you want to go down that avenue, the lack of analytics helps Charles Barkley's resume. Because he wouldn't be close to be close to an MVP if people valued the analytics like they do today. Like, and that's no disrespect to him, because I think the analytics don't paint the whole story. But the fact that he has an MVP is in part because the analytics didn't have the same hold that they did today. Like, that's a part of it. So I would argue he benefited more from the lack of analytics.
And in fact, I think that the analytics today, to your point, when you talk about how it wouldn't benefit Charles, I think it would get skewed considering what Charles was doing. So that 25 that he was getting in an era where he was playing in a big man era, he was rebounding and he was scoring the way he would. I mean, that 25 could easily be 29 or 30. That 20, especially how fast and how wide open the game is. Barkley wasn't a great long ball shooter, neither was Giannis, and I won't argue that point. But in terms of getting on the glass, I mean, again, the game was as wide open as it was. Charles was great around the basket. Charles was a great finisher, and in transition, he was one of the best finishers. I don't think that there's a gap between both him and Giannis as transition players. I think Charles Barkley was a fantastic transition player, especially as a finisher. I don't think that there's a gap between him and Barkley. I really wish that we could go back, but we can't relive that. If I had to choose between the two of those guys, I think it's Barkley. And on top of that, I think overall, Barkley being a member of the 20,000 point, 10,000 rebound club. I mean, I can't say that about Giannis right now. Maybe I will be able to say that about him in the future, but I can't say that about him right now.
Or so Jokic.
He still got work to do.
Too.
Yes, I do want
to say this about Charles though, because like I said, I'm not slandering Charles at all. I'm just not taking him over Jokic and Giannis. But Charles, for what it was, 8 straight seasons, averaged 20 and 10.
25 and 11, Ma. No, I'm wrong. 25 and 12 in the big man league. 25 and 11 and a half in the big man league.
And in a big man league, led the league in 2-point field goal percentage for 5 straight seasons. Mm-hmm. And twice back-to-back effective field goal percentage too. So like Charles Barkley was overly efficient.
He led as a 6'5" in like 4 straight years.
It's crazy. For a 6'5" person, crazy. He's like, I mean, obviously, we've heard this comparison, but it's like Zion if he could actually stay healthy. And then
I'll put light skin Zion in
but a much better rebounder than Zion. Like dude definitely. Averaged in his 3rd season in the league, averaged 14.6 rebounds. And as you guys know, the centers and the power forwards that were running around during that time, for him to do that, it's like that's mind-boggling. So I mean, Charles was getting to it. Like let's not act like he wasn't. Charles was getting.
He was a great player. He's one of the best of all time. He's not as good as Jokic or Giannis. Like he's great. It's just he's not that good. Like, but not many people are. I remember when Ticket said he had Charles Barkley above Jokic a year and a half ago. He got good, but a year and a half later, I mean, who would have thought? Chill has. We was talking
about Ticket. We're talking about Giannis and Joker. And we're talking about Giannis and Barkley. And then you brought up Joker. I don't know how Joker correlates between the power forward spot because that's what I thought we were talking about. But since you wanted to talk about it and since you put it out there, sure.
Yeah, it's
and we're talking about in their prime. That's what we're talking about. And I remember Charles in his prime and how awesome he was. I ain't talking about all time. I'm not. I didn't say that.
Okay, yeah, he was awesome. He wasn't as awesome as those guys.
Charles Barkley would have destroyed them dudes, though. So there's that.
Yeah, they couldn't guard him. That's fine. No, I'm not arguing against that. Charles Barkley couldn't guard anyone, but like they definitely wouldn't be able to deal with Charles Barkley for sure.
It would have did them dudes dirty.
All right, y'all. Sure. We got a couple other super chats, and then we're gonna get back into this ranking. Masinko said, if you are Orlando and you already have 2 future All-Stars and an amazing defensive team, would you give up picks for Cam Thomas?
Yes. Why wouldn't you do that? Because that's all he would cost. I don't think it would.
I won't be dead against it.
Again, Cam Thomas is on his rook deal. How much would he cost, Mars? Like, you don't have to give up a huge contract for him. You don't. He's still on his rook deal. So what do you?
The Nets would just want an expiring contract. No, yeah, whoever Orlando has who's expiring, who they don't really care for, that's probably who they'd ask for, and just some picks.
The Nets are not going to be high going.
Yeah, the Nets just want picks. That's what they want. The Nets just want picks. So you give them some picks, they might do it. I don't know if Orlando would do it, but they might.
If I'm Orlando,
I just find it ironic that the Nets will start buying all these picks, and probably the most valuable pick they're going to have is their own. So.
Yeah, they're welcome for getting that back. By the way. Yeah, they're welcome.
Yeah.
You stole it in the first place, Mars. They shouldn't even traded it.
They wanted James Harden.
He got tricked into coming there. He didn't even want to. He didn't want. He got talked into coming to Brooklyn.
KD and Kyrie raised them up.
And they look real.
Let me tell you what happened, Ron. Ron is in the house for the night, and hey, Ron, I know the spot. Come on out. Chill. I'm good. I'm in the house. Ron, I'm trying to tell you these things is there. Know what? Chill. I'm really in the house. Ron, I got a couple of dollars. Come on, come out. All right, chill. I'm gonna come. No doubt.
They just sent him a map.
So you know who that is?
Strip clubs.
This fool right here. I can't tell you how many nights. Hey, I'd have been comfortable. Hey, chill. I done already had some arrangements. You know, she finna pull up in 45 minutes. So we got it. I'm about to have a good, nice, comfortable night.
You good?
Good night. But this dude convinced me, nah, we can have a great night. We can have an excellent night. Hey, wow, you can do better than this.
And what happened?
Chill. Hey, it don't take too much convincing for me. It don't take too much.
I'll be up there in a couple weeks doing the same thing. Come on, Ryan.
I think James Harden needed motivation.
I ain't gonna be here. Hey, but speaking of the Magic though, and Cam Thomas, if I'm them, I actually want the other Cameron. I would love to put Cam Johnson next to Franz and Paulo. KCP, Jalen. No, well, I mean,
you're gonna have to give him
too.
up. You might have to give him. You might have to give him.
The next one was Cam.
You think the next point?
That's a 3-year contract. They don't want no 3-year contract. Yeah, Cole Anthony. Yeah,
it's for a little bit of money though, Mars. I mean that's
22 million. That's a lot of bit of money.
But why would you rather have Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas in Orlando?
Just because I already got my 2 bucket getters with Paulo and Franz. I'm good with them being bucket getters. I want him to come and space the floor. We need more shooting over there. And we can get that from Cam Thomas, but with Cam Johnson, he's bigger. He's a better defender. I think he plays a better brand of basketball to go with what we got going on. He's more physical. And on top of that, too, I think he's just a better catch and shooter. And he got a finals run under his belt. He got playoff experience. So, I think
he got busy in them finals, too, by the way. He could play, yo. He could.
Yeah. Another one of them old rookies. He came in at 24 and he was ready.
Was he that old, Mars?
I think so. He was like 23, 24 when he got drafted.
24.
I might have just lied. Let me
I know he's played all 4 years.
Yeah, I don't want to lie to people.
22, 21.
To be honest with you, but I don't hate it. I really don't.
He's 28 right now. He came in at 23.
He was 23 when he got drafted.
23. Okay. Yep. That's what's up.
Yeah. I don't hate it.
Yeah. But all right, y'all, we got one more super chat, and this is alluding to another trade from my man Kent Lipscomb Jungler. Jungler said Laurie for Keldon, Collins, and a Hawks first-round pick.
That's not enough.
I don't think that's enough, but if I'm the Spurs, Larry Markin will be really nice.
Don't talk like that.
If
that's just not enough.
Utah Jazz would hand him over for that. You doing it? I'm 100% doing that.
Anything to get Keldon off the team, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to come with either some more picks, something. That's not enough for Laurie.
If they could work out with the Warriors with what the Warriors was offering, I don't think they're gonna work out with
just a little bit of bread.
That's
a little bit of bread I'm showing you, Ox. That ain't enough. I need to come with more bread than
that. You got to get up in them pockets.
If I'm the Spurs, we can talk.
You got more bread than that.
If you're coming with that, just go to the ATM real quick. I'll be right.
You're not interested in Zach Collins? Like he a Utah.
I like Zach Collins, but Keldon, Zach in the first round. What is that?
We got a Blake Wesley. We got a Blake Wesley.
See, Marsh trying to be funny. Marsh gonna make me just leave. Like, all right, bro. You
wait a minute, we're out of here, Mars. Wait a minute.
Marsh not taking my time.
Don't do that.
We got Malachi Brown.
Like Marsh is not taking my time seriously. He's not valuing my time.
Wait a minute. We don't want him to leave.
It's the blockbuster trade.
What's wrong with that? City Sissoko?
All right, y'all, let's get into it. We got the Pistons and the Bulls. We got to break a tie. Y'all talk to me. Who you got? Big Ox, let's start with you. Actually,
where we at, Ron? At
Drew, let's start with you.
Pistons, and it's not even close. In my opinion.
Pistons?
Yeah, okay. Pistons by far.
Are we at 20, Ron?
22. Well, 22 and 23. So, Drew got the Pistons.
I like the Pistons' future and present better than the Bulls' present and future. So,
okay.
But I like the Bulls' past more.
Yeah, true. 6 championships does move me. Don't get me wrong, but
and they beat Charles Barkley, who's obviously better than Jokic and Giannis.
The Pistons got a solid pass too.
They beat the man with the worst 3-point percentage of all time with over 1,000 shots. Just
shout out to him. He kept launching.
I got the Pistons over the Bulls. I got the Pistons over the Bulls.
Are you guys remembering the Pistons that we're talking about? Because again, we're not talking about the Pistons that lost 28 straight last season. We ain't talking about them. We're talking about the Pistons in January of 2025. It's the same Pistons team that went on the West Coast and went undefeated. It's the same Pistons team. I think they're a game or two under 500 right now. This is the same Pistons team.
Yeah, that's why I'm taking them over the Bulls.
Well, the Bulls have a better record. They're half a game better.
Think they're better than.
But I got the Pistons over the Bulls too.
Okay,
it was by 2 spots.
Wait, so you don't got the Pistons over the Bulls right now?
Just because they beat the Bucks, he's moved.
Yeah, I think all of us up here have the Pistons over the Bulls.
I got them, but I have them lower. I mean, I have them higher on this list. I don't have them at 22, 23. I don't have the Pistons there. No.
Okay.
So how did the Bulls find their way in the Pistons talk?
How did the Bulls?
Definitely.
Let me see. The highest person had the Bulls at 20. Everybody had the Bulls between 20 and 25. Oh no. Yeah, the highest. Everybody had somebody had the Bulls at 19.
I had them at 22.
Chill, you had the Bulls at 19.
I got the Bulls at 19.
So
Jordan had them at 20.
20. I got them right. I got the Bulls and the Pistons right next to each other.
Where did I have
the Bulls? But you got the Bulls over the Pistons.
Right, and I got that wrong. I should have the Detroit Pistons over the Bulls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I have the
you got SBC in this list here?
Nah.
I have Pistons 21 and Bulls 22.
I have Pistons 21 and Bulls 23.
All right. Well, the Pistons are in the exact same spot that they were in last week. So shout out the Pistons. The Bulls have climbed up a spot. So that's what we're looking at right now. And the next team on the list.
We're at 21, right?
Yeah. Any guesses?
It's about that time.
I had a team. I had a team very low that I know isn't normal. So maybe Sacramento here. Maybe Sacramento.
We'll be. Hey, the beam will light again. We'll be back.
It is the Kings that round out the bottom third of the league at 21. We have the Sacramento Kings, not a but. They have fallen 2 slots.
This might be blasphemy, but I had the Kings 23.
I had them at 24.
You think they're worse than the Bulls?
Miles, we talking about.
That's crazy.
It's just Vinny. What can I say? He's Wade. He moved me. The Caucasian tax. What can I say?
So Devontae's just not Caucasian.
I don't know. I've dug myself a hole. I can't get out of. Move on.
No, well, I had the Kings at 20. I think 20.
I think I had them at 21 exactly.
Yeah, I had them at 20. So I'm fine with 21.
Haven't they? If I'm not mistaken, I mean, y'all dudes could look this up because I didn't. Haven't the Kings lost like something ridiculous, like 6 or 7 straight? They just beat one before they had lost like 6 straight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know they're 4-6 in their last 10.
But they were grease fire.
What's up?
Grease fire's heat.
They're just about. They were really bad.
The coach got fired off the strength of a lot of this. They were grease.
The coach got fired because they needed someone to blame. Like it happens, but like
I don't think it was Mike Brown's doing.
No, I don't think he helps. Like I'm still gonna. I don't understand why Keon Ellis is getting treated the way he's getting treated. But like, I don't think it's entirely Mike Brown's fault. I also don't think he's been great. But like, I think some of it is like. They've been really bad in the clutch. Like their execution just down the stretch of games have been really bad. So like they're in these games and they're losing like 1 possession, 2 possession games because they just don't execute. So it's like
what game was it where they gave up like a 10-point lead in the last minute? Ooh.
Pistons game.
Yeah, Pistons. Yeah.
Fouled on a 3. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he fouled on a 3, but I mean, a lot of the things I'm seeing are coaching issues. Like, what are we gonna do? Trade De'Aaron Fox?
No. It just seems directionless.
Houston is willing to welcome him, man.
Mike, Mike. There's no way I'm trading De'Aaron Fox.
If Sacramento
Fred VanVleet and some picks is an enticing trade package. But
if I'm Houston,
anyway, yeah, I got the Kings at 20.
Fred VanVleet, Shepherd, Cam Reddish and a couple of threes.
Cam Whitmore.
I mean, and a couple of ones. If Sacramento would hand him over, hell yes, I'm doing that if I'm Houston. Yes.
I mean, I'm
starting negotiations with Fred VanVleet and some first round picks. I
would definitely do it.
He's pulling out the big guns to start off these negotiations. I've got 3 words for you: Fred VanVleet.
Offering up an NBA champion. So.
Yeah, well, if you stop with that in picks, then we'll hang up on you. So you might want to put Jalen Green in there, and we could talk.
So NBA championship experience is useless, I guess. Okay.
In 2019, it's nothing.
But like on a serious thing, on a serious note, like not on a troll note, like being serious. Like Fred VanVleet, I'm not mad at Fred VanVleet coming over because like the experience thing really does matter. And if we still have Domantas Sabonis, we have to be like serious and not go full rebuild, or we're gonna have to trade Domantas too. If we trade Domantas Sabonis, that's the last straw for me.
Well, if the Kings are struggling in the clutch, Fred VanVleet is the last person.
I sat through 17 years of darkness. I would not sit through trading Domantas Sabonis. That's the
Alex, here's the thing.
Where would you
We'll
go?
be back soon.
Would you just go to
We will be back soon.
It depends on what team Domantas goes to. And if, you know what I'm saying? Like, or I don't know what I'm
going back to the project.
So Domantas to the Lakers, CG with the Lakers fan?
Yeah. You know how fast I'll be a loyal Laker? You know how fast I would be a loyal Laker if Domantas went to the Lakers? Come on.
That'd be the biggest plot twist in PC history if I hear Ox say anything positive about the Lakers in my lifetime.
Ox still rocking that purple. It just got a little bit of gold.
No way.
Hey, I'm so California chill, man. Like we can do this. All right.
All right, y'all.
Keep moving to the SA neighborhood.
That's a peach treaty. It's peach treaty time.
Here's the list right now. It's currently constructed. You have the Pelicans at 30, the Wizards at 29, the Raptors at 28, the Hornets at 27, the Utah Jazz at 26, Portland Trailblazers 25, Brooklyn Nets at 24, Chicago Bulls at 23, Detroit Pistons at 22, and the Sacramento Kings at 21. So now we got to get down to 11 through 20. So let's go ahead and make it happen, y'all.
I thought we was making good progress, and it's taking us an hour and 35 minutes.
Well, I mean, we had to make
got sidetracked a little bit with the Barkley Giannis.
I
was like, oh, we're actually getting through the teams quite quick, and then I look at the time, like, oh, damn, okay.
We was rolling with the Barkley Giannis thing, but let's get back to it, bro.
We're gonna get to moving. Here we go. At 20, moving on up. I think they moved up the most spots with 7 spots. Hey, baby. Hey, here we go.
The Pacers.
Nah.
I had San Antonio.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, yeah. Damn, you got some that low?
Am I losing my mind here? Y'all dudes y'all bugging me out with this, yo. Y'all don't realize how bad the Golden State Warriors are. These dudes suck.
I had the Sixers at 12. So
you were the highest. Mars. I was a couple slots behind you. I had him at 14.
I think they're really good.
You had them at 9. I had them at 22. That's what I got.
Health is the only thing.
Yeah, that's what I had them at. I had them at 22.
22?
Mm-hmm.
I had them at 17.
Yeah, I had them at. Now, what they won? 4 they last 5, something like them. They won 4 straight, like 5.
I think
George and Maxey are back. They're a good team. I just don't think they're bad.
4-game winning streak, and they're 8-2 in their last 10 games.
Mm-hmm. So
I think
their record is so bad because they stunk the first few months. But now I think
they're getting better.
They're
getting better. They're moving up.
Really
Don't forget, Mars. We did this last month. I'm sorry. I apologize. Don't forget, Mars. We did this last month. Where was Philly last month when we did this?
Yeah, where were they? Like 27.
They were New Orleans.
They've moved up 7 spots.
That's what they were. They were New Orleans. So they moved up.
Yeah, they were 27.
They've been on a hell of a run, though. They've gone on a hell of a run. I think Philly's turned it around.
I think they're undefeated when PG, Maxey, and Embiid play all quarters or something like that. Remember?
Yeah, because Joel got hurt in the Indy game and he got ejected in the Spurs game. So those 2 games they didn't finish with all of them. Cool. And Paul George got hurt in one of them games as well. So like, there's 3 games where they didn't all finish, but the games where they did all finish, they've been great. And Joel's looking more like Joel. Still not in full game shape, but he's looking more like Joel.
30 points are becoming more common at least.
Paul George is at least playing defense and stuff. So that's cool. And Tyrese
What's
Maxey
full game
is
shape, by the way, Mars? Since you said that about because MB being, for lack of a better term, dumpy looking. I mean, he's been looking like that for like the last.
Well, I don't think he looks like he's in bad shape. Like, I think he looks leaner than he normally does. I just think he's not in game. I think he gets gassed quick. Big part of the reason why the rebounding is not as good as a lot of people would like is like he's not moving much on defense. Like he's just, they're keeping him close to the rim. If the ball's going too far, he's not chasing it down. Like the energy is just not great. And defensively, he's still taking a lot of plays off just to try and catch his breath. So like he's not in shape, but he's still really good. And Maxey's looking better as to be expected. Paul George is the best 40 million pound 3-and-D guy. He's not even a 3-and-D guy, just a D guy.
20 million pounds, God.
But
cash converters.
But yeah, like I think they're good. I think their record is just bad because they've stunk for a while. But I think the last month or so since Embiid's been back, I think they've been good. So that's why I had them so high, because I think they're good.
Y'all, so we got Philly at 20. I got to step off right quick, but I'm going to give you guys 19, and I'll be right back when you guys are done with 19. It's the Indiana Pacers.
Oh, my goodness, yo.
Where did I have the Pacers? I had the Pacers at 19. I think 19 is fine.
Well,
I'm with Chill, by the way, on the fact that the Warriors are somehow way too high. But yeah, I had to not talk about the Warriors on the Pacers pick. I think they're figuring things out. I think offensively they're getting better. The team's getting better. Tyrese Halliburton's still Halliburtoning, but like the team itself is getting better, which is encouraging. Pascal has been really, really good offensively for them this year.
Yep.
They're missing Obi Toppin now, which is unfortunate. But I think 19 is fair. Like they're really bad defensively. Offensively, they're figuring it out.
They go through slumps quite often.
I think they have a ceiling, and their ceiling is just to be like a below average team. Personally, I just don't see an avenue to where they're much better than they are. So yeah, 19 is where I go.
I had him at 17, and
I had him 16.
Yeah, I had him at 17. Well, one of the main reasons why I feel like they're better, their pace is picked up. So they're playing at a top 10 pace now. They weren't doing that earlier in the season. They were playing at a really slow pace, which made Tyrese Halliburton look really bad. The addition of Mathurin, who's been healthy the whole season, he's been a big time bright spot for them.
Been putting up points recently.
Yes, he's been a big time bright spot for them. This kid Nembhard, I really like him, man. I do.
Him coming back has been huge. Yeah,
This kid
shut that day last night.
I really like him. I think that he gives them consistent minutes, just not only as a bucket getter, but just as an energy guy. He gives them a lot of defense, right? I think he's one of their better distributors, which I think is really good for him and for them. But Mathurin and Nesmith, I feel like Mathurin, Nesmith, and their pace, I feel like has been the difference with the Pacers more than anything.
I think like what you said, Mars, you hit it right there. It's like they have a ceiling, and their ceiling isn't what we saw last season. I think they got a few lucky breaks, and then that made us have some higher expectations for them. I don't think they are that good.
What's good, Ox? Because Eastern Conference Championship probably isn't realistic for this.
Yeah, team. I don't think that's exactly true. I don't think that's realistically who they are. I just think last year the East had some unfortunate injuries, things like that, and that is a part of the game. You know what I'm saying? No asterisk or anything like that. I just don't think that that's really who they are. I don't think they'll be back there this year. I think they're more of a first round exit type team, or you know what I'm saying, something like that, which. You know, that's fine, you know, if that's what you are, but I don't think they have the personnel. And I just don't think Tyrese Halliburton is as good as y'all thought he was.
I think he is, Ox. I just think that they are not as good a team. I think that's what it is more than anything. I mean, I watched that game last night. They were up 22 against Milwaukee, and then Milwaukee just stepped on the gas.
19 in the third.
Yeah, it's almost if they have a guy who's better than Charles Barkley, who's just able to shoulder a load.
Yeah, I mean, he did. And Giannis, did you see that mid range that he got going yesterday?
You're pressing his buttons. Let him live. Let him live.
That mid range off the bounce. That mid range off the bounce with Giannis, he just looks so much more comfortable with it. And they didn't have anybody to slow him down. They sped the game up last night, and Indiana didn't play fast. I think that was the difference in the game last night. Indiana didn't play fast, and they couldn't stop Giannis. So again,
I think for Indiana, the biggest like noticeable difference for me is we spoke about early on in the season, but like we said it more in passing, like that teams are figuring them out. I think that's just the case. I think what made Indiana so special and what made Halliburton so good was they played so fast and they moved the ball so quick. So Halliburton, the ball didn't stick. So like they were constantly putting teams in scramble. So like Halliburton runs a pick and roll. He gets 2 on the ball. He moves it quick. They're now playing 4-on-3, swing to a shooter who attacks a closeout, drives, kick. Like that constant movement and teams in rotation against them. Like they were really good at just generating efficient looks, especially at the rim. This year, they aren't generating as many good looks at the rim because teams just aren't in scramble mode against them all the time. So they're not getting 2 on the ball. They're not creating as many advantages. And when they do, teams are making are easier at stopping them from just playing out of that scramble and playing with offensive advantages. The best like stat I guess I could use to like illustrate that is last year they were 3rd in the league in rim frequency, like the amount of shots they were taking at the rim.
Sure.
They've fallen down to 19. And they went from 23rd in the league in mid-range attempts to 3rd. So I think that like illustrates that they aren't getting the same shot quality that they were getting last year, in large part because defenses have, I think I would say, just figured them out in a sense of
isn't it
the easiest looks.
Isn't it an issue to y'all? Like what I keep hearing the same thing over and over. I hear it all the time on the panel. I see it in the chat over and over and over. Mm-hmm. Tyrese can't play, so he can't slow the game down, and he's not effective in half court. He can only play in open court. You got to speed it up for Tyrese Halliburton. That's not a problem to y'all.
It's a major problem to me. That's why I wasn't as high on him.
That is serious. Like how can you have a franchise point guard that you're saying can't play in the half court? You have to speed
disaster,
the game.
Really.
Like their
offense was good in last year's playoffs. They just played fast. Like, but that's my concern is when you come up against teams that are disciplined defensively, and with Halliburton's limitations as a creator and ball handler, if you aren't giving up an initial advantage, you've now just got someone who's just spraying passes around to people who are covered, and now they have to create something. And that's why like their overall shot quality, like if Tyrese Halliburton was a Trae Young level half court creator, they'd be so much better. If Tyrese Halliburton was a Damian Lillard half court creator, like an elite actual half court creator, someone who could create advantages for his teammates, their offense would still work. But because he doesn't do that, I think you're now relying on these guys, these role players, to play the same style of play in terms of driving closeouts, attacking against slanted defenses. But the defenses just aren't as slanted as they were last year. And that was because Halliburton was he was being treated like he was a larger threat than he was. And this year he's not.
So real quick, because now I'm seeing where this guy's saying, well, how good was Jason Kidd in the half court? Amazing. He was fantastic in the half court. He was amazing in the half court. That's how good he was in the half court.
He could play slow, but he was much better.
Just because he wasn't an elite 3-point shooter, people think like that means you're not effective in the half court, and that's not true. As a point guard, I still have to be able to control the offense, direct traffic, make the right passes. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Be a presence without being an elite 3-point shooter. He was still a presence off ball. And you know, if you don't understand that, I can't explain it.
Could play in the post in the half court, the high post, and
a menace on the block.
He's also just so much better in the pass. Like it's night and day between Jason.
Like we shouldn't be having this conversation.
A decision maker
and Tyrese Halliburton. And Tyrese Halliburton, I think, is a great passer, but him and Jason Kidd, no, we're not going to do that. But to your point, Mars, it sounded like early on that teams hadn't figured out the chaos. Well, they figured it out now. Well, now it looks like they're getting back to that chaos. Like I said, they're 9th in the league in pace, so they are playing a little bit faster. I think one of the major problems that they have, and they've always had this problem, I still can't figure it out considering what kind of rim protector Turner is. Like, they don't rebound nearly as much as I'd like for them to rebound. Now, as far as them playing in the half court, well, if you remember in 2011 with Dirk Nowitzki and Sean Marion, well, Rick Carlisle didn't run any sets. He's on record saying that they didn't run sets. The action that they have is some motion, but for the most part, it was get the ball to Dirk or it was get the ball to Sean Marion and we'll run some cross action. But who was ever open, you get involved in it. And that's kind of what Rick Carlisle is doing with this Indiana team. And he doesn't have a better passer. And he doesn't have a better passer in Tyrese Halliburton than he did with Jason Kidd. But they are good enough to play in the half court against most teams. Now, when we're talking about the better defensive teams in the game, like the Celtics, like Oklahoma City, right? Like Cleveland. Well, when you're doing that, when you get late in the playoff rounds, yeah, it's going to get a little trickier. But I think that they could luck up and be better than some teams. Is this a championship team? No, I'm not going to go that far. No, I won't.
All right, y'all. We have a tie next that we have to break. But before we get there, Brand sent through a $50 super chat.
Here we go.
He said, Chill confuses me. He argues with Mars so much about the importance of accolades, but yet we'll say Chuck is better than Giannis and Jokic. Makes no sense.
Brand, I just told you, Giannis is not a member of the 10,000, 20,000 point, 10,000 club. Charles Barkley does have a league MVP. That is going on. And in 1990, he finished second to Magic in league MVP votes, even though he had more first place votes to Magic that year, which means he should have won the league MVP that year, but he didn't. Considering what was going on, that team won 54 games. That Philly team, I mean, Charles Barkley was the engine that made that team go. But to your point, yes, I do argue accolades. And Charles Barkley has a number of them, him being an all-pro, him being in the league MVP. Don't get me wrong. I won't argue the all-league defensive teams because in the defensive player of the year, I do think that that's where the separation can be with some people. But I think that a lot of you guys don't understand how good Charles Barkley was in his prime. We ain't talking about all time. I'm talking about how good Charles Barkley was from 89, probably 89 to 93, how good Charles Barkley was. He was fantastic.
He was better than Giannis, apparently.
All right, y'all. Need to let you know that this show is brought to you by PrizePicks, where you can play $50 and get $50 back instantly in promo funds, only if you use greater than host pick of the day and also the promo code panel. There you go. That's your little tip of the day and your secret of the day and your call to action of the day as well. All right, so fact. All right, here we go. We got a tie to break, and also too, we got to pick up the pace just a little bit. So let's go ahead and make that happen. We have the Warriors and the Suns. I need you guys to tell me who's better. So Mars has the Suns. Jude,
Suns.
Ox,
Suns.
It's a sweep, Ron. It's a sweep.
It is a sweep.
So I actually had the Suns in this spot. I don't understand how the Warriors have made it this high.
Me neither.
Yeah, I didn't.
It seems like everyone who's not up here has made
some self-sabotaging going on this list.
Because it seems like we seem to be in like a pretty close agreement on most things. The people who are also voting seem to be just drastically on a different side of the fence.
I don't know what y'all looking at when y'all looking at this Warriors team. I don't.
So the Warriors,
I don't even think the Suns are good. I think the Suns are actually pretty bad too.
I don't think they are neither. But
the Warriors,
this Dub team, I don't understand what y'all looking at when y'all look at this team. Outside of Steph Curry getting buckets, they in the Portland. They're in that area. They that bad. Outside of Steph Curry
don't even be getting buckets. He don't even.
Yes,
we can't even be like, Steph has no help. Steph ain't helping himself. Like the whole team is bad. Like
Kuminga has no help.
Facts.
If you put it like that.
The Warriors are bad. I watched
Buddy Hield smoke not one, two layups in transition. Smoke two of them.
So
and then
should have 3-point line.
The Warriors had the biggest drop. They dropped 11 spots. And in the midst of you guys saying you don't understand why the Warriors are where they are, was two people that had the Warriors crazy high.
Who?
Penn had the Warriors at 12, and Pirate had the Warriors at 11.
No,
Pirates are Warriors fans, so like I can. No, I feel like if you're a Warriors fan, you should be
18,
even
I think.
angrier.
18 or 19.
If you're a Warriors fan, you should be even more disappointed that this is the team that you have.
No way.
Like, I don't understand how you could be high on this team like this thing. Penn, I don't know what Penn's thinking.
No way.
But on the Suns, yeah, I think the Suns also suck. So I had the Suns here at 19 or wherever we are.
The Suns are getting killed in the paint on a nightly basis. Like,
they have the worst center rotation in the NBA. Like,
when I watched the Grizzlies game last night, it was literally Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson just attacking closeouts, hitting threes, if not just going between two players, get a layup. Like, it looked like they had no fear of who was in front of the rim at all.
Yeah, the Suns. If the Suns had a competent center, they'd be so much better. But they don't, and that's why I think they're bad. Like that, Nurkic is obviously out now because of the suspension. But Mason Plumlee and Yusuf Nurkic is the worst center rotation in the NBA for any team that's trying to be serious about anything. Like,
he's a switch dream. He's a switch dream every time.
Disgusting. And Devin Booker did not look good in his first game back. But
I don't think Devin Booker's had a good season like at all.
Neither do I. They're asking him to shoot more threes, and it's not his game. And I don't think he's comfortable. Like, and this is why I say, like, this is why I've never been the one saying the mid-range is a bad shot. I just think it's a good shot for the right people. And Devin Booker is the right people. But they're now trying to get Devin Booker to be like this high-volume three-point shooter. And, like, regardless of what his percentages are from three, I don't actually know what his percentage is. It's a rhythm thing. Like, you're getting Devin Booker to change his game to play this more analytical style of basketball. Similar to KD. They're asking KD to take less mid-range shots from his areas as well. But like for Devin Booker, I just think it's ultimately hurting him. Like the amount of like pull-up threes he's taken, the transition threes, like all of those, like it's like he wouldn't normally take those shots, but it's like I feel like they've given him a quota. That I think it's like they want Devin Booker to shoot 8 threes a game, and I think he's very conscious of shooting 8 threes a game. So like,
even if they're bad shots, he got to shoot.
It's ultimately hurting his shot selection.
I feel like this always role in the Olympics, and then thought, yeah, we're just he shot so well in the Olympics. Let's just put it on him like that instead of thinking more logically.
The 3-point line in the Olympics is practically a mid-range shot in the NBA.
I know, and they're going off that instead of actually utilizing them the best.
Yeah, so D-Book's been disappointing this season, partially because I think they're telling him to play a way that isn't conducive for him. But yeah, my issue with the Suns is going to be their big man. They stink.
I agree.
Yeah, well, the Suns fell 6 spots as well. So we have the Warriors falling 11 slots to 18. The Suns fall 6 slots to 17. And at 16, a team that's trending up, but they fell down a slot from our December power rankings. We got the San Antonio Spurs at 16.
Where did I have them? I had them around here.
Yeah, I had them at 16 too. Yeah,
I had them 18 or 19, I think.
I think they're on pace.
I had them at 17.
I think they're on pace to win. I think they're on pace to win 40 games this year. The way that they're rolling right now.
In that playing battle?
Yeah.
I think they're on track for like 42, 43 because they're one game above 500 right now.
Yeah.
So.
That's double what they did last year. Yeah, that's double what they did last year. So this might be.
They're on track for 42 wins. So. Wemby's great. Devin Vassell has not been great since he's come back.
Keldon Johnson.
Chris Paul has been as impactful as you could hope Chris Paul could be at this point of his career, which is really nice to see. He's still washed compared to like where he was a few years ago, but like 39-year-old 6-foot point guard should not.
He's not Suns Chris Paul anymore.
Yeah, but at his age, like he's one of the oldest players in the league. Like the third oldest player in the league, maybe the second oldest player in the league, and he's this impactful. That's amazing, especially at his size. We haven't seen players his size be this impactful like in a very long time. So give Chris Paul a lot of credit. If Devin Vassell can get back to how good I think Devin Vassell can be, I think they can be even better. And Wemby is, it goes without saying. He's one of the 10 best players at 20. So
it feels like anyone who guards Wemby is a mismatch, and he doesn't have to hunt it.
As it should be, though. You damn near 8 foot. Everybody's supposed to be a mismatge.
They tried doing it.
OG Anunoby don't feel that way.
OG
don't feel like it's a mismatch.
He didn't show that on Christmas.
Yes, he did.
Well, actually, when he switched on to him for the last like 7 minutes,
yes,
he actually
yes, he did, bro.
But shout out to Wemby for having 42 on the other matchup. Shout out to him. But like, yeah, the Spurs are a really good team, especially when Wemby's on the floor. Like when Wemby's on the floor, they play like one of the 10 best teams in the league. And then when he's off the floor, not so much. But like, still, you have.
They smoked the Clippers last night. They didn't beat the Clippers. They smoked.
Yeah, and James Harden and Wemby ain't hit my combo because Wemby wanted to finally play like a 7'4" human and start dominating inside the 3-point line.
Zubac couldn't breathe. Zubac couldn't breathe. He was just post up. None of this. Let's chill at the 3-point line and see what falls. He was just getting busy.
To chill at the 3-point line and see what falls. Like, shout out to Wemby though. He had like 29 in like 25 minutes. So it was great.
All right, y'all. Moving along to the 15th team in our power rankings, the definition of mid. And it's kind of fitting too. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves. How do we feel about Minnesota?
I had them at 16. I think the only difference is that I had Philly high. So like every team from here is like one spot lower than most people, just because I had Philly at 12. But yeah, Minnesota here sounds fine. Defensively, they seem to be figuring things out, kind of. Offensively, I still don't like it. But they're a mid team. They can beat anyone, they can lose to anyone. It just depends on if they're making shots or not. Dante's looking better, which is nice.
Much better.
It's about time. I've seen something somewhere that Dante last year before Christmas was also playing trash. Like he was averaging like 9 points a game on like bad efficiency. And then after Christmas, he was averaging like 18 on like 44% from three. So maybe he's just a post-Christmas player. I don't know. Maybe that's just what he is.
So would it
He looked
surprise
all
you,
right last
Mark?
night, though.
He did. He looked really good last night.
Post-Christmas, exactly.
That game got turned around in the third quarter. That's when the game flipped, because we had a ball game going up until that point. So
they were up 12. The Wolves at one point.
Mm-hmm. Mars, and Ox, would it surprise you that Minnesota, before last night's game, number 2 in the league in defensive rating, number 2 in the league in defensive field goal percentage, and there's 7 teams that they've held in the league under 500. I'm sorry, under 100 points. That's good enough for numero uno. So the defense is coming back. They are getting it together defensively, right? But the problem is, and I've said this to you guys before, when we had this conversation about Anthony Edwards being the best 2 guard in the game, Anthony Edwards still has a lot of flaws in his game. One of the flaws that he has in his game is when he gets blitzed, he has no idea what he's looking at. He doesn't have any idea when he gets blitzed how to deal with the blitz. He doesn't even anticipate the blitz. The blitz just happens and he throws the ball away. He doesn't know how to attack the blitz. Not just him. Alexander Walker did a terrible job at taking care of the basketball last night. And then, in addition to both him and Alexander Walker, Julius Randle compounded that. And I should have known when the game started, when Casey Wallace ripped him in the open floor in like the first minute of the game. I'm thinking, is this what I'm dealing with? Is this what it's going to be for the night? But he started to turn it around, and they got better. It was the third quarter. That's where this whole thing turned around. This whole thing turned around. They started to turn the basketball over. Their defense, Oklahoma City's defense was predicated. Oklahoma's offense got predicated a lot on them turning the ball over, and Shea got going. That was your ball game right there. But this Minnesota team, they still look like they're in the position of figuring it out. Mars, you brought up DiVincenzo. He had a situation in the third quarter in the fourth quarter, where there was a 2-possession game, and he had a 2-dribble pull-up at the elbow, and instead of taking that to make it a 2-point game, he throws the ball out to the long ball line, and they end up getting a turnover. And he had made 2 shots previous to that. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. That's momentum changes.
I think the whole Minnesota problem just boils down to roster construction, because when you've got 3 players who take up the same space, you've got Randall, who's post, Anthony Edwards, slasher, and then you've got obviously Rudy Gobert, who outside 5-6 feet from the rim is not really doing much.
So sick of talking about it.
6 feet is optimistic. 6 feet is
talking about how many times I
try not to crucify him too much.
I'm just tired of talking about it, man. I'm sorry, Ox. You know how I feel about big man.
It's a coaching. I'm trying to tell y'all. I've been saying this for weeks now. This is a coaching issue on the offensive end. This isn't all personnel. If you got a guy like Rudy that you know you're not going to give the ball to on the block, and he can't score, then this guy's supposed to be setting back screens, weak side screens. That's what he's supposed to be doing. That's what he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be setting on ball screens for Anthony Edwards, back screens for Jaden McDaniels, looking for him slashing lob threats. You cannot just sit a guy like this around, and he's not a post threat. And even if he is, they're not giving him the ball. This is 100% a issue with how we're running the offense here. It's really just that simple. Like Julius Randle's a threat everywhere on the court. Anywhere he's on the court, he's a threat. So if you sag off of him, that's fine. You got to attack him. You know what I'm saying? It's simple, bro. You don't have to be a threat. What you said? You said 6 feet away from the rim, 5 feet. If he's not a threat, that's fine. Just don't keep him there. Use him as a screener. Move motion. Get some movement in the offense. If you're just gonna stand there, then with just stagnant offense, then that's an issue. But if you can run some type of motion use him to his advantages, because on top of that, he is a lob threat. So when after you set screens, you roll to the rim, and there's a lob there right there. There are ways to make Rudy Gobert,
viable,
more effective. Sure.
I don't, he's just not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to make it seem like we can turn him into just like some super positive on offense. So I don't want to say that, but you can, I guess, viable. Sure. I guess viable.
Sure. All right, y'all. I want to take this time to shout out all of our viable Hall of Famers. We got Cobra Son
They're more than viable, Ron.
We got Multi Kenny. We got Kendall Daniels, and we have a new Hall of Famer. Our new Hall of Famer goes by the name of Tracy Steele. Tracy, appreciate you for joining up. Appreciate you for jumping into the highest tier in Player's Choice possible. You now are goated within the Player's Choice community. So salute to Tracy Steele. Also, shout out to everybody that is watching on Twitter. If you are watching on Twitter and you have the opportunity to, jump on YouTube right quick, like the video, and then go back to Twitter. And if you are on YouTube, you already know what to do. I don't have to get into it, but you know what you need to be doing right now. And the numbers aren't adding up. 400 likes, 1,300 people in here. I don't know. I'm not the best at math, but I don't know. But either way it goes, let's go ahead and keep it pushing. We got teams 14 and 13, and they are both tied. So we have a tie for 13 that we must break. Chat, I just ran a poll. Who's better between the Atlanta Hawks and the Miami Heat? Fellas, I need you to talk to me. We got to break this tie in the power rankings.
I think it's Atlanta. I think they got the better perimeter defenders. I think that they have the better lead guard. They don't have a better coach, but they got a damn good coach. I feel like their system with Trae Young taking better shots and being more of a distributor is more conducive than Bam looking specifically for Tyler Hero more and not being more of an offensive threat. I'm gonna take Atlanta.
I had the Hawks as well.
Jude?
Hawks. I was just double checking, but yeah, Hawks.
So you all had the Hawks again?
I just need to
staying consistent with my list. I do have Miami one spot ahead of the Hawks, so I got Miami.
Oh, okay. I had 2 spots separating them, I believe.
I had 2 spots separating them. Yep.
There was one team I have in between them, but yeah, I had the Hawks slightly higher. I think offensively the upside is just a lot higher. And I think defensively, I think the Hawks are viable enough to where I'd favor them over Miami. Miami's offense is it's interesting to me. I'll just say that it's interesting.
Who's coaching Atlanta right now?
Atlanta? Quinn Snyder.
Yeah, Quinn Snyder.
No, Quinn.
Yes, Quinn Snyder's their man. Mm-hmm. Quinn Snyder's their man. Mm-hmm. Quinn Snyder, who's in Utah. Yeah, he's in the
Ox, will you wake up?
Got fired.
Okay, I'm tripping. I got because I like Quinn. You know, I got it mixed up with
Nate McMillan.
Atkinson. Okay.
I got it mixed up with Atkinson. I thought Quinn went to Cleveland.
That's
no, Atkinson
is in Cleveland.
I really like Quinn Snyder a lot. I really liked him in Utah.
He's a good coach. He's a damn good coach.
The Heat just play so slow. Maybe that's why I'm just not as high.
Third from the bottom of the league, Mars.
They just play so slow. So
and they could play. They have the personnel to play fast. Trae Young can get out in the open court. Dyson Daniels is an athlete.
I said the Heat.
Oh, the Heat. Oh, my bad.
No, but Ron was passionate about the Hawks.
You're talking about the Heat.
I guess. But they play fast, so I don't have a problem with them. But the Heat just plays.
Do they have the personnel to run the floor like that?
Yes, they do.
I know Bam can get up the floor. Jimmy's a little older, but Jimmy's still athletic. Tyler, I guess he could run and get transition threes and.
I want to upgrade at that league guard
slow
spot.
for years though. Like that's just who the Heat are. The Heat just play slow. Like I don't remember the last time the Heat played fast. If I'm being honest, like they just always been a slow team.
Maybe when they had James.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe like the LeBron years is when they were kind of fast. Maybe, but even then, I don't think they were that fast. So like they just play this slow brand of basketball that's just boring and terrible and disgusting, and I never want to watch it. And also, Amen Thompson threw Tyler Hero to the floor. So,
hey Mars. With that being said, what is the Hawks in transition? I would assume that they're top 10.
In pace, they're thirds. If you want to find
that would make sense. No. Pace is what I was getting at.
Oh, okay, yeah. died.
Okay, that would make sense. That's why I was like, when you said bottom third, I'm like, what?
I think the only team I know I think is faster than them is the Bulls. I don't know who this other team is, but I know the Bulls is one of them. Let's see who else the other team is. It's the Grizzlies. Yeah, that's obvious. The Grizzlies and the Bulls, and then the Hawks. They're the 3 fastest teams.
The fastest they played with James on the roster, Mars, was 16.
James and Wade.
That was the fastest they played with James, Wade, and Bosh.
That's what it is. They play in the half court a lot, and I think that's probably why their offense is never that great without like elite 3-point shooting. It's because they just don't get the easy ones for like they're just very rarely in transition. So,
all right, y'all. Well, as of right now, the Miami Heat have jumped up 3 spots to the 14th in our power rankings, and the Atlanta Hawks have jumped up 5 spots to 13th in our power rankings. Now we are going to keep it pushing to America's team, the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's what I had it. That's what I had in between the Hawks and the Heat. So I had the Hawks above the Lakers and the Heat below the Lakers. But
where we at, Ron? What number?
Number 12 for the Lakers.
Yeah, I had the Heat at 13. I'm sorry, I had the Lakers at 13.
I had the Lakers at 14.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I don't think they're that good. Like I get like I had them in the top 15, so like they're solid, but like I just don't think they're that good. So like I think they're just a mid team. That's just how I view it.
You said that to me like 2 months ago, Mars, or a month ago, and I was like, yo, they got James, they got Anthony Davis, Rui is playing. The more I watch them,
Austin Reeves is
and
Austin Reeves having a career year right now.
Hey, Austin Reeves against the Cavs last night, he looked the best on the floor. And I'm not lying. He gave them 30, 10, and 8. He looked started out slow. Once he got it going, getting to his mid-range spots, getting to the rim, finding cutters, attracting the defense to get people open.
Right.
Like, Austin Reeves nice as hell.
He got busy, Ron. I'm not gonna argue that. But you know what can't happen, Ron? Jared Allen can't play me to a tie. He can't. No. If Anthony Davis does what Anthony Davis does, and I'm on record, I thought Jared Allen should have been an all-star last year. But he can't play Anthony Davis to a tie. No.
Jared Allen is amazing. He's
awesome. That
part
I'm not going to argue, Ox. That part I will not argue. I think Jared Allen was great last night, but he can't play. I mean, he was a glass cleaner. I think that was the difference in the game last night. As good as Donovan Mitchell was at the long ball line, as good as he was as a playmaker, Anthony Davis had the most difficult time dealing with Jared Allen on the glass.
Ball movement as well killed him. Ball movement. Cleveland, especially in the fourth, when they turned it on, were finding any good shot they wanted. Ball movement, extra passes.
Well, that's largely
killed
them. Lakers perimeter defense. They don't create any action on defense on the perimeter. Nothing. That's including Max Christie. That's any other perimeter players. They don't create any action on the perimeter defensively. Nothing.
The Lakers against any adequate defense in the playoffs just look struggle. They just struggle for. It look like they're running out of ideas.
I think first of all, I gave Rui credit like maybe a week or two ago because he was finding a way to be solid on defense. In terms of like he was providing rim protection as a wing. I was like, oh, that's cool, that's progress. Yeah, that died. But the little time he was doing it was cool. Yeah, he stinks again on defense, so that's tough. But the stretch I will never forget. I'll never forget the stretch where Rui was solid on defense. But yeah, Dorian Finney-Smith has to start at some point. Rui Hachimura should not be starting. You got to go Austin Reeves, Max Christie, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and AD, in my opinion. But I think JJ Redick just like he just be running plays to run plays. Like it's not about
he knows Mars. He watched the episode yesterday.
It's not about like,
but he already knew that before he watched the episode.
He's not a coach. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like if a team's playing like a certain coverage, he's not gonna run a play that like counters that coverage.
You mean an adjustment coach?
He's not gonna be like, okay, so they're playing this deep drop, so we're gonna run this. We're gonna run stack because we understand if they're playing drop, that back screen's really gonna that's gonna hit. Now it's like, oh, they're trapping, but I'm still gonna run Spain pick and roll because that's what I want to run. It's like, okay,
you're just gonna run this play to run.
Yeah, like you're just running it to run it. Like
no,
I mean, but he can be one of them players that are one of those coaches that wants a team that doesn't want to have to necessarily make adjustments. He wants to force the other team to make adjustments. Maybe he can just impose his will on that team, which if it doesn't work, looks terrible. You know what I mean? But if it does work, then you know you're just having your way with the other team.
Yeah, but I mean, as in terms
like,
of like,
I'm with
like,
you on this, Omar.
Yeah, but in terms of like actual in-game adjustment, I agree with you. But like in terms of like just running sets that counter your opponent's defense, I don't think that's that should just be the prerequisite. You shouldn't be running sets because hey, I want to run this set, and it's like, but you're playing into the defense's hands by running that. Like it just doesn't make sense. You're not getting good shots because you're not countering what the defense is showing. Like the Lakers have an extensive playbook and they have plays that counter certain coverages. But if you're not running plays that counter coverages you're facing, you're just wasting your time. It's like
Miles, you saying he's just doing stuff to make himself look big brain.
What it is, but like it's weird to me. I don't think JJ Redick's that good of a coach. I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's that good. So
Podcast merchant.
All right, y'all. In case you need to know, first down scatterboo. But let's keep it pushing. This is what we are looking at with the mid teams in the league, 20 or 11 through 20. We have the Philadelphia 76ers up 7 spots at 20. We have the Indiana Pacers at 19. The Golden State Warriors down 11 spots at 18. The Phoenix Suns down 6 spots at 17. San Antonio Spurs at 16. Minnesota Timberwolves at 15. Miami Heat at 14. Atlanta Hawks up 5 spots at 13. The Lakers at 12. And then at 11, you can see we have America's stepchild team, the Los Angeles Clippers, up 2 spots, though, at 11. How we feeling about this?
In Harden we trust.
Yo, is this a UK thing? Is this a British thing?
I had the Clippers higher than this, but yeah. I mean, I sent my list before they got destroyed by the Spurs.
Me
so
too.
Maybe I would have moved them down. I don't know. Probably not. But I had them higher than. Where did I have them?
I had them at 10.
That's where I had the Clippers at.
I had them at 9. So slightly higher than this. Yeah, I just think defensively they're great. Like I think that's what I'm so high on. Is their defense. James Harden's still obviously able to generate offense at a level that not many 35-year-old guards have been able to do. But defensively is where they really stick out. The athleticism is great. Flying around. Chris Dunn, we got to give Swiper credit, I guess, because he was the first one to talk about him on the show. Has been really good. The less I don't
broken clock, right? Twice a day, like
Terrence Mann fracturing his finger. Like they haven't really missed him. Kawhi's back soon, obviously. But like the only I guess concern I have with the Clippers is their rebounding. I think outside of Zoo, they just don't really have anyone who rebounds for real. I'm pretty sure James Harden's second on their team in rebounds. Like when Zoo's not in the game, they just die on the defensive glass. So that would be my main concern. But other than that, it's I think it's just a really good team, and it's built for when Kawhi comes back. So next month I expect them to be even higher. But
Mars actually gave me
that's what I'm saying.
Mars gave me a really interesting theory on Kawhi Leonard and how the Clippers are using him. And if we got some time later, I want Mars to break that down because it actually is a really interesting theory.
Well, I had the Clippers at 9, and seeing as Kawhi is coming back, I just can't wait for the February power rankings. So we're gonna have the Clippers at 3.
Who's Kawhi's first game back against? Does anyone know?
January 4th.
Damn, he gotta come get into that Dyson Daniels torture chamber right away.
Bro,
Dyson defensive team's gonna die, man. They're gonna see what Kawhi does. They're Dyson can't even play defense for him.
Bro, what you think Dyson can do with Kawhi? Come on, bro.
Dyson's gonna go Kawhi can do with Dyson. But that's beside Dyson.
So then Kawhi, you gonna get a pass? What? He gonna get the rookie, right? Nah, I put Trae Young on him.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all, let's jump back into it, though. Here we go. We are going straight from the Clippers at 11 to a tie for 9th place. And this is a very good tie. And we have we have one more tie after this. But this is a good tie right here. This is my favorite out of all of them. We have the 2 best players in the world. fighting for the 9th seed, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Denver Nuggets. Who y'all got?
The Bucks are substantially better than the Nuggets.
Easy.
I don't even think it's close. I had the Bucks at like 6.
Well, it's close for me just because I do have the Bucks only one spot ahead of the Nuggets, but I got the Bucks.
I actually had Denver ahead of Milwaukee. Just one spot. Yeah.
I don't see it.
I had Milwaukee at 9. I had Denver at 8.
I had them next to each other, but I had the Bucks over the Nuggets.
Okay. Well, I have a large gap. I have the Bucks at like 6 and the Nuggets at like 10.
What are you seeing that I'm missing, Mars? Where's the gap between Milwaukee and Denver?
The Nuggets defense stinks. That's where I would start with it. And I think the Nuggets rely on Jokic more than the Bucks rely on Giannis. And that's not me saying Jokic is better than Giannis. I'm saying because of how they run their defense and their offense, I just think you're actively sabotaging your team when Jokic isn't on the floor. Whereas with the Bucks, I think they're more able to tread water with Giannis off the floor, which is a good thing for the overall quality of the team. I'm not making this an MVP case. I'm saying about which team is better. And I think with Jokic being as bad as he's been defensively this year, like you can't be that bad defensively as a team. I'm sorry, you just can't. And like they're doing everything in their power. Like it's the same defensive scheme they've been running, but with Aaron Gordon now, it looks even worse. They shrink the paint and pick and rolls. Have Jokic hard hedge, so that we don't give up paint points, etc. And then we close out to shooters. But it's like teams are able to get to the rim now because you got Julian Strawther on defense, or Michael Porter Jr. on defense, or Jamal Murray on defense, and you have no one to clean it up. The Nuggets aren't that good in my opinion. The Nuggets just aren't that good. They're solid, top 10 team, but they're a very flawed team. I think the Bucks have less flaws. I guess.
So the thing that I can counter with that, Mars, is Jamal Murray has been playing better. So they are relying on Jamal Murray a little bit more than they did in the past because he was garbage, no question about that. And to your point about how bad they are defensively, well, they kind of make up for that offensively. I mean, they're one of the 3 best offensive teams in the league. That's largely due to Giannis, right? Not Giannis. I'm sorry. That's largely due to Joker. How much better Joker is, and how much better guys like Murray and why am I drawing a blank on his name? Aaron Gordon, how much better those guys have been playing over the last couple of weeks. So if you have this is one of those things that I call an exception, kind of like when I talked about Joker and when I talked about Steph Curry, when I talked about Magic. As bad as you are defensively, you could be so good offensively that you could be the exception. And I feel like that's what's going on with Denver right now. Now, of course, when we get to the playoffs, that defense has to be better because the curtain's going to get lifted up on it. 100% it will. But as of right now, their offense is so good, and they're playing against teams throughout the course of the season where it can be masked. Now, when you get into the playoffs, and we only have to deal with you, we can definitely exploit that. But as of right now, I think their offense is just so good against so many different teams that the defense doesn't really suffer that's why, and adding Joker into that, the defense isn't highlighted nearly as much. Now, you 100%, Mars, have to have that defense when we get into the playoffs, or you're a first round exit. No doubt about that. But I just feel like this team is so good offensively because of Joker. I think that's where the separation is.
They're 28th in defense in the last 2 weeks.
Garbage.
Y'all hear that?
I think they're like 3rd in offense, but like 28th in defense.
Yeah.
Like,
MVP voters out there, if you are listening, we can't possibly have an MVP that's a negative to his team's defense. We can't possibly have an MVP that's on a team with so many flaws. We can't possibly have an MVP on a team where they're just trash. So you got to go with the next guy.
I'm just going to have to reset my timer for amount of time without Giannis versus Jokic being mentioned. It's gone back to 0 now. So
yeah, that's because obviously we don't have the main culprits here, which is but
that was the longest. That's probably the longest we've ever went through an episode.
2 hours 22 is
without
impressive.
Bringing up Joker and Giannis. I don't think when does that
we talked about Giannis because we talked about the who the Bucks played last night. The Pacers. The Pacers. We did talk about him.
We talked about Charles Barkley, but like we didn't compare Giannis and Jokic directly, which is progress. We didn't talk about why Giannis has no shot to be the best player in the world. We didn't talk about that.
I'm gonna have to put the calendar behind me back down.
Making progress. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, moving along, we're still in the top 10. So the Nuggets, as of right now, are 10, and this is exactly where they were last month. So they're neutral. But then we got the Bucks climbing up 3 spots to the 9th seed, or to the 9th spot in our power ranking. And now at 8, we have a team that's fallen 3 spots. I would have thought they would have failed more than this, but they're staying afloat. The Orlando Magic, despite injuries and a lot of other things going on over there, they are still in the top 10. 9.
Shout out Orlando.
I had them at 10.
I had them at 11.
I had them at 11 as well.
Defensively, they're just so good. Like, offensively, they suck. Like, they just suck right now. It is what it is. Like, they're winning games.
They're scoring from the seat of their pants at the moment.
Yeah, they're winning games without Paolo and Franz off pure hope and vibes and determination.
Cole Anthony and vibes.
Like, if you watch this Orlando offense, like every possession seems to be a struggle. But they're finding ways to stay above water, and I think you commend them for that. But defensively, they're just amazing. Like they really are. They fly around, they shrink the floor, but they're still able to recover to shooters. Jalen Suggs is relentless. KCP has still been really good defensively, and everyone who they just seem to bring in is just like aware of their role. They plug and play. It's really good to see. So them being a top 10 team, that I can see it now. Ideally, they get Paolo back as soon as possible. Like they need some offense. Like at some point, they need some offense from somewhere. But they're doing a good job considering the situation.
But that's where it is though, right there, Morris. Like it's the defense. If you can build a team on guys that are bought in on the defensive end and that are willing to, to leave it all out there and sacrifice their body and do everything it takes to stay afloat, you will have a competent basketball team. I mean, because if you don't got the superstar scores, then it's gonna look different. It's not gonna look as good on the offensive end. But anybody can put the ball in the rim, not at an amazing rate, but you know what I'm saying, they can get it done if you just play good basketball. But if you buy in on that defensive end, your team will stay afloat. You will have some type of action.
Ox, I'm on your page with this with this Orlando team. If they were healthy, they're top 3 seed in the East. They're top 5 team in the league.
I do feel bad that their momentum just got killed by the injury bug. Like it would happen like within a week or a couple of weeks. It was like they're both.
When is Paolo back? Do we have a time?
No,
well, he's been running.
It was meant to be 4 to 6. They said they was reevaluating him in 4 to 6 weeks, and he got hurt in early November.
Right.
And we're now in January, so like, I don't know what the timeline is. Hopefully, he's back sometime soon. I know Franz is probably not going to be back until like around the All-Star break, but like, if they can just get one of them, like that should help them a lot.
Maybe they're just taking it slow, seeing as the team is still being somewhat competitive. They just don't want to make sure they don't rush it.
That's possible. I hope that's what it is.
It's two positives with the Magic right now, though. Obviously, you're playing without your top 2 guys, so you get to showcase other guys. So maybe around February 6th, when it's trade deadline time, they might have more ammunition to trade one of these guys because they've been showcasing this is a winning piece. This is what this guy can do. The window shopping them essentially. So that's one positive. But also, too, if you're winning without your 2 best players, once March, April, playoff time rolls around, it might get scary.
That's the whole thing. When you can teach your 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th man how to and give them substantial minutes that really matter, and so where it's not just like it's not garbage minutes. Like the mistakes you make really affect their team now. So you got to step your game up. And when you show from December, January, and February that you're capable of doing that, it builds your confidence. Also, it just gives you more repetition, lets you know what to do in these situations. That builds a strong playoff team, a very strong playoff team. So if Franz and Paolo come back and in full health, and then April, May comes around, we could see Orlando, Boston, Orlando, New York,
Orlando, Milwaukee.
Orlando, Boston.
Ron and this Milwaukee stuff. Enough already, Ron. We already know how good the Bucks are and how much better they're getting. Ron makes it a point to throw Milwaukee in there every possible chance he gets.
All right, you know what? My bad. Orlando Pacers.
Oh, God.
That's better. That's better.
That's a first round sweep. Yeah,
that's even worse.
All right, here we go. Moving on to the very next slot. At number 7, moving up a spot. Shout out the Brotherhood. Without Luka, the Mavericks have climbed up a spot in our power ranking.
Look, I don't care how good or bad Klay Thompson is playing. Shout out to Klay Thompson. All right, just want to shout out my man.
Out of premise alone.
Right. This would be on a better team this year than he was on last year.
His presence alone is what's carrying him through. It doesn't matter whether he hits a free, misses a free, presence. Or
that is real though, Jude. We talk about that. You have to close out on Klay Thompson. If Klay Thompson's 1 for 10, and he catches that ball on the 3-point line, you have to close out.
He's got gravity. Don't get me wrong. He's got gravity.
Yeah.
I might be living with the way she was.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching teams actively leave help off Klay Thompson to stop.
That's leaving I'm watching it happen. Klay Thompson.
Now, I don't know about this. I feel like gravity's becoming like defensive reputation. Like Klay does not have this gravity that he used to have.
Not as much as he used to.
Oh well, no, it would never be what it once was. But
he opts to be honest
with you. Out to him.
Klay
in terms of
like
being willing to leave him, they're leaving.
It might be a softer closeout. It might be a softer closeout than it was, but you still got to get to Klay. Because look, if Klay watches 2 or 3 fall, you in trouble.
Oh, then you start ringing the alarm bells. Yeah, then it's like.
Klay looking like the double team man, Ox.
He played us tonight. He's gonna make like 8 threes. Like,
wait, we doubling off for Klay, chill.
He's starting to look like the double team man. Like we'll live with that. Yeah, we'll live with that. I'm just saying.
Live with that and he scores 38.
The headband still. There's magic in the headband still. The headband still carries weight.
If that's the case, still he needs to go ahead and retire. I can't see Klay Thompson.
I'm just saying.
I can't see.
They're leaving him a lot. They're leaving him a lot. They're leaving him open way more often than not these days.
That's an accident. That's a defensive breakdown, chill. That's not in the scheme.
Here's what we're looking at in our January power rankings. Top 10. We got the Nuggets at 10. We got the Bucks at 9. We got the Magic at 8.
Shout out Rivers.
The Dallas Mavericks at 7. And at 6, we have the other Houston team. The other Texas team, the Houston Rockets, and they have fallen.
The team in Houston all of a sudden.
Well, yeah, the one guys, the Texans.
I had the Rockets at 7. I
had them at 7, I think.
I had them at 6.
I had them at 6 or 7.
Really good defense. The offense stinks. That's just really all there is to it.
But you had that kind of offense, Mars, that because and we've seen bright spots where you've scored a lot. You got that kind of offense that once you get going, you could get going. Jalen Green, to Ron's point, Jalen Green got a bunch of $1 million moves and $10 shots. 100%. A bunch of them.
But when it's going down, he looked like a superstar.
He looked like one of the best 2 guards in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like one of the best 2 guards in the league. Plenty of times I've seen that $1 million move and that $10 shot, and I'm like, get Jalen.
Miles, when he's at that 40, it was like the most non-40 point game I've ever seen in my life. I was like, it made me second guess the box score what I was seeing when I was like, right, okay, guess he had 40.
He's a weird guy, man. He's a weird guy. Şengün's picking things up a bit offensively, which is nice to see. Fred VanVleet should get off the roster as soon as possible. Tyrese missing the last few games, I think, has been damaging. I think Houston's obviously better with Tyree on the floor. Now Amen's going to be suspended for 2 games, which is going to be tough. They played Dallas, and I can't remember who the other game is. So it's going to be tough games.
2 games ain't enough, Morris, but
it should have been none. Tyler Hero deserved it. Oh, and Boston. That's who he's missing. Dallas and Boston. Jabari's looks better as of late. I keep saying that because he keeps looking better. Cam Whitmore's in the rotation. He's looking like Cam Whitmore, which is nice. But yeah, I think this is just a floor team. I think they're operating at like max capacity, in my opinion. Like their defense is keeping them in games. Offensively, it's whoever has it going that night. Hopefully, we have enough to win. That's really like the philosophy right now.
I think
y'all really need De'Aaron and Kevin Huerter, huh?
I just want to put it out there. I'm no longer.
He really sold Fred VanVleet there. I'm sure.
I'm Portland's FC now, so whatever Houston does is none of my concern. But yeah, De'Aaron would be great. De'Aaron would be great for Houston. Yeah, De'Aaron.
I'm in total disbelief right now. There's no way he.
What the hell is happening right now?
I think the 3 certainties that I've noticed in the last few games: there's death, there's taxes, there's the Rockets going cold in the 4th. Like against
yeah,
the Heat.
God.
The Heat were up like 7, and then they missed the next 11 shots. I mean, the Rockets were up like 7 with like 5 minutes to go, missed the last 11 shots, and then the game just flips like that. So, like,
The Timberwolves game was even worse. But...
yeah, the Timberwolves game was shocking.
Well, Morris, if you don't want that Houston stock, I guess I'll just take it. I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
Actually, nah, I'm staying on my Grizzly stock. I'm standing
on
Portland's FC, we up, man. Let's go.
Ron's lost in the parlays. We have to get him out. We need to drag him out. He's getting too hooked in on these investments Ron's making. I don't know if he's gone into overdraft yet or what, but some shaky choices to say the least.
Speaking of the Grizzlies, they are next, but they are tied with the New York Knicks, and we have to get down to the bottom of this. Who are you guys taking right now as the better team in the NBA? The Memphis Grizzlies or the New York Knickerbockers?
The Knickerbockers.
Taking Knicks all day.
I had the Grizzlies above the Knicks, but I don't know if I want to stand on that.
I might have something blasphemous, but I had Dallas above Memphis.
I see it. I see the like in terms of like who the better team is. I see it in terms of like who's
because I trust Dallas with Kyrie than I do Memphis without Ja. I would say.
Well, of course.
That's probably what Swart. That's probably what
I mean. Memphis without Ja is still a pretty good team.
Yeah,
like Ja's really good, but like I don't. This is not just a Memphis thing. Like the idea that when a team loses its best player or second best player, they're meant to just all of a sudden start losing games. I don't agree with that. Like I feel like, especially when a team runs a competent system and style of play, like I feel like the individual is less important to like maintaining the integrity of the team.
Oh, I trust the individual is doing though, Mars. Like so, for example, when you talk about the Denver Nuggets, like what is Joker doing?
That's because he is the system. That's because he is the system.
Yeah.
Ja is not the system. Ja is a part of the system.
He's part of it. He's a huge part of that system. Memphis plays with when Ja's on the floor. They play with one of the fastest paces in the league. That's largely
they play one of the fastest paces about him too.
Right, and they don't, and they have won, but they haven't won as much. I already told you this, Mars. I don't really give Ja as much credit as I should have for him being the passer that he is. Like I told you the other night, man. Them losing to Oklahoma City, that's not indicative to who Memphis is. Oklahoma City got a really good team. Memphis is good. Memphis got
that's the insult to lose to OKC.
Yeah. Memphis got
I don't think any team would be disappointed to.
Yeah, Memphis got a damn good team. They do.
Yeah, I think when you run a system that like relies entirely on like one person, I think the team falling off without someone makes sense. But when you run like a competent style of play that isn't reliant on one person's skill set, you lose that one player. You don't just fall off a cliff. Like Memphis's pace with and without Ja is like practically the same. It's 104 and 103. It's 104.5 versus 104.3. Like it's the exact same. Like they play the same pace. They play the same style of basketball. The difference is you don't have Ja Morant. But like the process and how they're generating shots, their process defensively remains the same. So if you have a team like that, you are less reliant on that one person's contributions. It's why, not to bring up the GOAT debate, but the easiest example I can use is like when people be like, oh, well, MJ wasn't that good because the Bulls won 55 games without him. It's like they have a system. So despite how good MJ was, if you have a style of play, you don't rely on one individual as much as a team. Like when the people bring up the Cavs fell off a cliff without LeBron. It's like,
especially in the triangle.
There's a lot of context to that. But even if you just say, yeah, the Cavs fell off a cliff without LeBron, it's like, well, yeah, because everything the Cavs did was reliant on LeBron. That doesn't make you better or worse. That just means that it makes more sense for the team to fall off a cliff without you when everything the team does is predicated on what you do. If you're able to fit into the system, it makes you more dispensable. But I think it also makes the team better. And at the end of the day, in the team game, I think it's important how good the team is. Not
and
how
don't
good
leave out,
the team
Mars.
is just with you. So
and don't leave out the fact that those guys were together for a long time. It's not like it was just the system. It was the system implemented to guys who were together for years. So I think that helped too. So
yeah, and I'm not saying that it doesn't matter that like you're extremely valuable to your team success. Like I'm just saying you can be extremely valuable to your team success without your team falling off a cliff without you. I don't think that's the only way to be valuable. I think you can be valuable in many ways. And I think Memphis is a team similar to Orlando. Like if you can win without your stars, that doesn't mean your stars aren't that valuable. Like that's just not what that means. But people seem to interpret it that way. So that's
why is the system a bad thing? Kobe Bryant played in the system. Shaq played in the system. Jordan played in the system.
Most people who won a lot played in systems. Like,
yes, there's nothing wrong with playing in a system.
Like, there's not many teams that have won with a lackluster coach.
System quarterback. Some like Peyton Manning played in a system. Joe Montana played in a system.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's why I think the Grizzlies are still really good without Ja Morant, and that's why
I don't know if it's because the Suns are an outlier, but Jaren Jackson's free is starting to fall a bit more than. I know it's probably not the most consistent, but for the role he plays, at least.
Jaren Jackson been hooping this year.
Yeah, has offensive game has been great.
Yeah,
the 3-point shot has been
Jackson an all-star this season.
He'd be on my all-star team probably. I don't know, probably. Yeah,
they the number 2 seed. He's been healthy. He's been their most consistent person all throughout the year. Chill, I would damn near say yeah.
2-way as well.
He's having his best offensive season of his career by a significant margin.
What is he averaging? Like 22 a game, something like that? 22, 23 a game, something like that. He's averaging.
Yeah, he's also doing it in like 29 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Has he still got a rebounding issue, or has his rebounding gone up?
He had 11 last night. He went 37 and 11.
He's always
but that goes to show the Suns.
That's a bit of an outlier.
But like Jaren Jackson's not a good rebounder. He's never going to be a good rebounder. No. But
can we take it a step further than that? Is Jaren Jackson an all-pro this year?
Ooh.
I think because
I'd have to think about it. I doubt he'd make it, but it's possible. I think
if it was position locked, then I would say yeah. But now it's positionless. I feel like it's more harder for him to get in than maybe last year or the year before.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah.
All right. Well, we have, as of right now, the Grizzlies are at 5, and they're up 1 spot from the last ranking, and the Knicks are up 5 slots, and they are at 4.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at. Let's go ahead and dive into the top 3, y'all. We know the 3 teams. We have the Cavs, the Celtics, and the Thunder, but it's just a matter of where they all lie right now. Do we have a prediction for who's at 3?
I had the Celtics.
I'd expect Boston to be at 3, just based on how they played as of recent.
I had Boston because of obviously recent form as well. Probably not enough.
That's why I expect them to be at 3.
Definitely Boston. Definitely Boston.
Yeah. All right. Well, Boston was number 1 last month for the December power rankings. Now they have fallen 2 slots to 3 for our January power rankings to start the 2025 year.
These 3 teams are just going to interchange depending on who's playing. At that point in the season. It's not like this isn't anything to write home about. It's like Boston just didn't play well in the last few games, so they felt.
I think they're still lucky in the week.
They're still, in my opinion, the favorites for the championship. They're still, in my opinion, probably the best team in the NBA. Like nothing really changed. They just didn't play great for a little while. So
they beat Toronto by almost 60 yesterday.
Did not watch a second of that game. But
I think the biggest Raptors loss in their franchise
in the history of their franchise.
They didn't score in the first half, they still would have won the game.
Yeah, I've seen that. I did see something.
if they didn't score in the first half, they still would have won the game. So
it's
shows the absolute chasm.
Maybe we should have put the Raptors at 30, man. Losing by that much? Damn, it's tough. Oof.
Put Golden State down as well. In that case.
Hey, I tried to get them down, but
all right, and just to throw this out there, Boston is 5-5 in their last 10 games. So yeah, they have hit a rough patch, but we all know the Celtics are the Celtics, and they are number 3 in our power rankings. At number 2, last month they were number 2. This month, no, last month they were number 3. I'm sorry, they've jumped up a slot. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I had them at 1.
That's right, Ron. Move them up. Don't do that. Don't leave us where we was last month. We better than that now. That third quarter is indicative to what that Oklahoma City team is. How they fly around on defense, how they communicate on defense, how they shoot gaps, how if you don't take care of the basketball, how they can rattle you and how they can completely turn the game around defensively. And they did that last night against Minnesota. That was a nip and tuck game. And then they just blew the game open in the third. Completely blew the game open. Now Minnesota was able to get back in the game. The guy that I'm concerned with the most on this Oklahoma City team is J-Dub, because I know that team is predicated on their defense. To your point, Miles, when you talked about Indiana, and Ron, when you talked about Indiana, when the game slows down and we get in the half court and we get into the meat and potatoes of games where we need buckets and SGA isn't doing SGA things and I need somebody else to do something, J-Dub is the guy that I'm concerned with. Can he do it on a consistent basis? That's the guy that I'm concerned with more than anybody. Because I know that they can get buckets and they can get that predicated on their defense. That's what makes them play faster. That's what gets them out. J-Dub, on the other hand, when the game slows down and I need him to get buckets, I think that I am worried about that.
Got a question for y'all. Has OKC proven to y'all yet that they don't need Chet?
No.
No, in the playoffs they're gonna need him.
No.
That's always been my stance.
They've proven that they're great without Chet, though.
In the regular season, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But even in the playoffs, I think they can be that. Now, great has a ceiling. Great is not excellent. Great is not, up there. But great is they'll be.
What is great, Ron? What is great in your estimation?
They will be anybody outside of the top 7 teams in the league. In the playoffs,
they're still a really good team. My
I would say they've coped.
As long as OKC has a center, they're a really good team. The stretch of games where they had no Isaiah Hartenstein and no Chet, they look a bit more normal. Like
Jalen Williams back too, for what it's worth.
Yeah,
backup center,
I guess. But you're running J-Dub at the 5, like that's concerning. But when you have one of the bigs, like it's hard. It's gonna be hard to beat OKC. Now you add Chet to what they got. That's where you get to the start. You get to the point where it's like, can a team beat them in the West? I don't know. I don't know. But I also share Chill's questions with J-Dub offensively. Defensively, he's been amazing. Like, I think I had him in one of my all defensive teams, if I remember correctly.
Mars, I was thinking that, but I was like, is he really an all-league defender? But I'm willing to have a conversation.
Who?
J-Dub. I'm willing to have a conversation.
I had him on my all defensive second team.
I think he might be an all-league defender this year. I think he might be.
That's how good I think he's been.
But the question that I have for you, Ron, okay, if the play, like you just talked about Chet, if the playoffs started today, they got to see Minnesota. We ain't even talking about the play-in tournament. Let's just say from 1 to 8, it happened like it is, and they had to see Minnesota in round 1. How you feel about them?
Hey, I know y'all all the chat's gonna hate this. Mars, you're gonna hate this. Jude, you're probably gonna hate this. Minnesota give them hell, like especially with what I seen last night.
If
Minnesota
game
control.
7,
they control that game.
If this thing goes to game 7, how you like it, Ron?
No Chet.
No Chet.
Give me the Wolves.
There is no way.
Y'all gonna hate it. Give me the Wolves.
There's no way the Wolves are getting to a game 7. Like, there's just no way.
I'm not nibbling on that.
Hey,
I'm not even chopping on that.
I'd be surprised if the Wolves got a game.
So let's okay, Mark. Let's say they get past.
Surprised.
So stay right there, Mars. Let's say that they get past. Let's say they get past Minnesota for all intents and purposes. They get past Minnesota. So now they either got to see the Clips, Rockets, or the Mavs, Nuggets. Which one you liking?
Clips with Kawhi.
Leonard is available.
Hey, send the Thunder home, man.
They are.
Send the Thunder home, man.
Back them up.
That's game over, man. That's game over, man.
So they out again in round 2.
I think Dallas and the Clippers can get them. I expect them to beat the Nuggets, if I'm being honest. But I can understand how the Nuggets could beat them. Obviously, Jokic is pretty good. Jamal Murray's looking good.
Jokic and chill.
So I could see that avenue for the Nuggets beating Houston. Have no shot. Houston, that's a 3-game series. But if Kawhi is available for the Clippers, that's possible. Dallas, I think, is possible, and Denver, I think, is possible. All for different reasons, but I think that's all possible. But those are like the 3 best teams in the West outside of OKC. So,
well, like I've been saying since he got hurt, and like I'm still saying, I think obviously, and I think my man Napoleon Ice Cream had said it in the I said it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, both things can be true. Chet can be amazing, and Chet can be a future superstar, and this team can still be fine without him.
But they're very clearly fine. They're 12-1 in the last month. Like
right. But I'm saying I think they can go. I think they can go just as far. I don't think that.
That's because you don't think they can go that far anyway with Chet. Like that's why you probably think that.
Well,
like,
I mean,
I think they're going to the prime. I think they're going to the finals. So like,
right. Okay,
that's
yes.
why
I didn't think
yeah.
you're right. I didn't think they're a championship team either way.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a Western Conference Finals team, which is amazing to me. I think that's that's one of the last 4 teams alive. So I think that's great. Western Conference Finals. So I think they're a really good team. But Shea is just different. Like he's nice, but I just you lose something, but you can also fill in not have somebody that does the same exact thing as Chet does and still be. And to your point, Mars, I was talking about with Isaiah Hartenstein when I first made that tape. Yeah. So without Isaiah Hartenstein, without Chet, I don't think they have a chance. But
Shea was getting downhill at will last night.
Shea's special, man. I ain't gonna lie. He's special.
We do got to move on to the Cavs right quick. But before we do that, Anthony Edwards had this to say about Shea last night. He said Shea simply is the MVP of the NBA. And then he went on to say, to me, he's unguardable. As far as any one-on-one matchup, yeah, you can go on and give it up. Just give him 2 points most of the time. I feel like he should have won it last year, but he's playing out of his mind right now.
I think he's more undeniable this year than last year.
I just don't like that out of his mind thing. Oh, he's not playing out of his mind. This is who he is.
Okay.
He's on the Rex.
Yes,
this is him. He's like this.
This is a guy playing out of his mind is somebody that's just is somebody that we don't know about. No, this is him. This is who he really is.
He's ridiculous.
He's awesome. I won't argue that.
This is the best he's been in my opinion.
Boy,
like, he was great last year, but I think he's even better this year.
Hasn't he got almost 30 games out of everyone in the last 12 months or even longer than that? Something. I think he's got 30-point games out of everyone in like at least the last 12 months.
This is what I be saying though. I be expecting these guys to take these leaps every year. It might not be a crazy leap, but I expect a guy from 24 to 26. Like 24, Shea was giving us 30, but his 30 at 26, it looks, feels, and is just a little different. And so you could see the growth in Shea. And right now, it's just like it's nothing nobody could do with him.
The advanced stats say he's the second best player in the league.
Is Jokic
Giannis?
No, not behind Giannis. No.
But
no, not behind Luka neither.
But
behind DeMontis?
No, not behind DeMontis.
Close, basically the same person. Yeah, basically. But like, he's been fantastic.
He's been fantastic. I said last year, Moss, that I had Donovan Mitchell ahead of him. I got to come off that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, these are the power rankings right now. You can see. I'm gonna just mention the top 10.
Y'all put the Cavs over the Thunder?
Yeah. I had the Thunder at 1. But
I had the Cavs.
I can't argue against.
Yeah, you damn right.
The best offense in the league. Really good defense. Like Kenny Atkinson is doing a wonderful job. Evan Mobley looks great. Like I'm not gonna argue against the Cavs.
Ox, you love coaching, Ox, and I told you how good a coach Kenny Atkinson was. He got a raw deal in Brooklyn.
Well, I knew how good a coach Kenny Atkinson was.
He got a raw deal in Brooklyn.
I already liked Kenny Atkinson.
I didn't like JB Bickerstaff getting fired, and when I found out that they were hiring Atkinson, I was like, okay, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I felt the same way when I seen when he was leaving. I was like, damn, I thought he did good, but when they announced it was going to be Kenny, I'm good with that.
Yes, they got a damn good team. Damn good team. That ball.
I might come to regret this, but strike me down. Call me an idiot, call me whatever you want, but I believe in the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've convinced me.
Everybody should believe in them.
I think you have to believe. I mean, like in terms of going to the final, like, are they better than Boston? Cool. Whatever.
I think that. Yeah, I think
you have to believe in them. Like this is a really good team.
That's the part. That series can go 50-50, and just whoever turns up in certain moments.
It's gonna come down to Jared Allen. I think it's gonna come down to Jared Allen.
I think it comes down
to the Cavs and the Celtics. If the Cavs and the Celtics are in the East Finals, I am in Boston.
I will be, but I will be watching the game.
I am up there. Mm-hmm. I
might see you over there.
I might have to call up and ask for I might have to call up, man. I might have to call up and call out that day. I might have to ask for a day off because I'm in Boston for that.
Chill. We might be in Boston live. Mm-hmm. Hey, it might be PC weekend in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Boston.
Y'all some high rollers. I think Cleveland might be a little more
accessible.
Yeah. So I'm in Cleveland, but
not all of us have got states.
I'm on the East Coast. Yeah. It ain't nothing to get up to Boston. Right. It ain't nothing to get up to Boston being over here.
It's Ron's parlay fund.
I might just be waiting in Milwaukee because that means that they are in the Eastern Conference semis, and then we'll see them in the Eastern Conference finals. No, chill. That means we gonna see. Chill. That means we'll be waiting for them in the finals.
You just play the winner of that series.
Exactly.
Never ever seen a man switch his tune like that in the space.
Shout out to the Bucks, man. Shout out to the Bucks, man.
Facts.
That means if y'all about to be getting cooked by Orlando in the finals.
But here we go. Here we go, y'all. We got super chat, so let's go ahead and make it happen. YK said, by Chill's logic, is Dirk better than Malone and Chuck? Dirk often cooked them. 2 of the 3 greatest defenders of all time, same position and conference, and beat Prime Bron in the finals. Accolades plus comp, Dirk clears.
Earn KG there too. He cooked KG too.
Is Dirk ahead of
Duncan too?
Is Dirk ahead of Malone and Chuck?
I think I got Dirk at 4.
No, I do not have.
I got Dirk above Barkley.
I got Malone at 3. I got Malone at 3 and Dirk at 4. So
yeah, if I have to talk about 32, he's better than Dirk in my opinion. But
it's an unethical top 3.
Dirk is better than Barkley in my opinion.
Duncan, Malone, KG, Dirk, Barkley.
So Dirk is better than Giannis too.
Yes. Yes. I didn't even know that was a discussion.
He's not part of the 30K point club.
So Dirk is also better than Jokic.
Why is Joker in this conversation? Why are we talking? We're just talking about
who's the better player.
Like, and not only that. Again, are we talking about all time? Because again, I have to add what Dirk has accomplished. Dirk is a part of the 30,000 point, 10,000 club. If we're talking about better players. Oh, I'm taking Dirk over Giannis. Yes.
Are you taking him over Jokic?
Yes.
This is insane. I'm not doing. Yeah, Superchat. I'm not doing this. Okay. Welcome to 2025, guys. Jesus.
Starting to hear off strong.
Gandhi KV2 said Jalen Brunson's best season is better than Kyrie's best season. Not counting accolades, just hoops.
Are you
21? Is Brunson better than Irv in 21?
I think the only thing. Well, is that when Kyrie?
I got Kyrie.
I don't think it's crazy though. I just if you drop Jalen Brunson on them Cavs teams in that championship run, it's eerily similar.
Man, Ron, they must have did something else to you when they cut your hair, bro. Because I don't know.
I'm talking about. He said not accolades, just production. It's eerily similar. Jalen Brunson gonna be in the finals cooking the Warriors too.
The accolades are a result of that production, by the way.
I feel when they say just hoops, does that mean all on vibes? Yeah. You take it on vibes.
Just hoops, you know what I'm saying? Just hoops.
But he's got the deeper bag, That's what I'm saying.
Oh well, Kyrie beats everyone in that department.
Yeah, exactly.
It can't be that. Yeah, it can't be that.
Remember reading stuff like, just because KD's got the hezzy tween and that's it, he's got no bag. And I'm thinking, well, if I could do that at that level, then I'm hezzy tweening all day long. So
I wish I could play basketball like KD.
I wish I would just take the height. I wouldn't even take anything else. Just take the height above 6 foot.
If I could play basketball like Kyrie, like I'm already like narcissistic, but like. It takes a certain level of like humility to be as good at like anything as Kyrie is at basketball, and not to just be the most arrogant human in the world. Like if I was,
you would be unbearable. You would be unbearable.
If I was as good as Kyrie, I would be 100%. The most unbearable human being.
You would be unbearable.
Your Twitter would have to get your ex would have to get handed over for.
Nobody would be able to tell you
no crimes against.
There's no way I could do everything Kyrie can do on a basketball court, and anyone will say anything about me ever in life. Like there's just no way.
Or Steph.
Yeah, somebody no one is your ass, Mars.
No one is talking to me with. They can't even raise their voice around me.
That's how Luke is. So I mean, it's not like Mars saying something crazy because that's how Luca is.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I gotta get to these super chats.
They gotta bow their head every nah. Kyrie a good guy because
Huberson Moreau sent through an empty super chat, but appreciate the $1, Huberson.
Thanks, bro.
Flexed up, became a member, and then sent back-to-back super chats. First off, he said, we need to deconstruct this Eastern Conference is much worse than Western Conference narrative. Top 5 has more East teams.
He said that right after Oxford. Right after Oxford, he sent that super chat. I was like, oh, good time.
Before we continue in the discussion, what I meant to say is on paper, if you looked at the records at the start of the year, and you would maybe consider an Eastern team could be flying higher than the Western team. That's what I meant to say before.
When everyone was below 500 except Boston. And,
yeah, that's what I meant to say before my crucifixion is prepared. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, but then the Bucks locked in, Philly locked
we
in.
already got the nail, brother, in the cross.
Orlando
already got it.
You either die a hero long enough to become the villain, and it's took me about just under 3 hours. So I'll take that.
Not too bad.
See, that's what's up. At least you quoting Batman movies, man. I'll be tired of quoting these African.
The Dark Knight is the best. Is the goat. Is the goat.
So you're not respecting burning the village down to fill the warmth.
That's some sucker shit, Morris. Because you cold, you got to put everybody there. The hell is wrong?
Okay,
with
Ron,
you?
I'm sorry. I know we got to move on, but
go get a blanket, bro. What's your problem?
Whoopity Stupidity with the super chat. Whoopity said SGA in this winning stretch has propelled himself to the top of the MVP rankings. He's been Jordan-esque.
Stop with the Jordan stuff. Stop with the Kobe Bryant stuff. He doesn't play above the rim. Stop it already. Stop. He's awesome. Don't get me
shooting guard. He puts up numbers.
He doesn't
Jordan.
play. No, man. He doesn't play above the rim like Bryant and like Jordan does. So stop with the Jordan-esque stuff. Stop. Oh,
I don't think
I don't like that stuff because the main reason I don't like that stuff is because it's going to turn into hate on this person.
Yeah,
like SGA is amazing at basketball, but if you start trying to compare him to Kobe or Jordan and stuff, then it's just going to be like that's what can I say about that? You know what I'm saying? I can't pretend like I think he's on that level. So it just sounds like hate.
I can't compare to anyone.
Which is not, but that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, he's unique to me.
With the members chat said Alex Sarr can't even get to the point to know if he's better on the inside than he is at the long ball line. But yeah, Buddy is ass on offense. And I don't know if he's talking about Buddy Hield or Buddy is in Alex.
The answer's true for both. But Alex Sarr actually, I think like in his last 12 games or something, he's shooting like 40% from 3. But he's still not good offensively. And I'd probably argue he's probably better from 3 than he is like at the rim. But he's just bad on offense. Defensively, I think he's been actually about as good as advertised for rookie. But
Ron, we were talking about that when he was down playing with LOR, and you could just watch him play, and it's just like I don't think he's physical enough or aggressive enough or strong enough to be playing in the lane, playing on the block, playing around the basket. Yep. And I don't know. I don't want to put the soft tag on him, but it's just kind of like, are you afraid of contact? I'm not sure.
Or maybe, how about this for an idea? How about I'm just young? I'm a kid, and let me.
That's fine.
First year in the league.
That's fine. He's a baby. He's
developed.
How about that?
Yeah, he definitely is that. So
Gandhi KV2 said OG ain't scared of Shea.
He shouldn't be scared, but he know he got his work cut out for him.
Yes, he does.
That's what he's here for. He's here to work hard.
Mm-hmm.
He'd feel disrespected if he had to guard like Luke Dort or something.
Football CF Candy said the Bulls need to blow it up since yesterday's day. Why are Zach plus Vooch still here? Aren't good enough to win, but aren't bad enough to tank. Hell.
Apparently, no one wants Zach LaVine, apparently. So that's why he's still there. Vucevic, I don't know. Vucevic,
I don't think that's the case.
Vucevic is holding up his end of the bargain. He's boosting his trade value right now with how he playing. So he's doing his part. Someone just needs to go get him. But
isn't it strange though that nobody's going to come get Zach LaVine? I think that's what
53 million is a lot of money.
It is a lot of bread.
I think when you've been injured for that amount of time recently as well,
43 million. I'm not 53. So 43 million is a lot of money.
Man, championships ain't cheap, man.
No,
when it's what have you done for me lately, and then the lately is I've been sat on the sidelines. It doesn't really move anyone.
Well, he's been playing like an all-star when he's been there.
You talking about Bryce James?
Q Will sent through the super chat. He said, "Bryce to Arizona. What's your thoughts?"
Play there?
Is that who he's talking about? Bryce James?
I guess so.
I don't know.
Arizona's still good, or are they like?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll always be good.
Arizona? Bryce sucks.
It's not that he's no, he doesn't suck, Mark. That's not true, Mark. The difference is that he's a mid-major Division I player. He's not a major Division I player. He doesn't suck.
That's why I asked if Arizona was still good.
Yeah.
Like if
No.
like
Mm-mm.
yeah,
Well,
someone
guys
said
that go to Long
Arizona
Beach,
nice.
guys that go to
DK
Long
said it
Beach
for me.
State don't suck, Mars.
No,
And there's
that's
nothing.
what-
And there's nothing wrong with
DK
being a mid-major Division I
formulated
player.
my words
Nothing wrong.
a lot more clear. He's not Arizona nice. That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah, UC Irvine is a mid-major school and they got ballers. You know?
So, like if you went to a mid-major, like yeah, cool, but he's not Arizona nice. That's what.
Man, look, they trying to get some more NIL money. All right, we get Bryce on the squad. Hey, we get more views, donors go up, all of that. Like,
it's definitely a good investment. Like he's gonna be
that dude about to play with both his
scholarship.
boys, man. This is amazing.
He's gonna bring in more money than he costs. So.
Facts.
When you've got the LeBron James label hanging over your head, you're always going to outkick your coverage. So I think
the idea that people
the
thought
way
he
of
was
it.
better than Bronny, like that was just wrong. Like,
Yeah, I remember that. Just because he was taller, it was like, yeah, he must be better.
It's because he was more of a shot creator. Like he wanted to like go get back to like the highlights. Like, oh my god, he can play in the mirror. Like, bro, you watch 1/4 of him play. It's like, oh, okay.
But the thing with Bryce is he didn't have the same jump that Bronny had with the athleticism. Like Bronny, I think came in his junior year and all of a sudden he was stronger, faster. He was jumping crazy. I didn't see that same thing with Bryce. You know,
Bryce doesn't have much athleticism.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like I think with the skill set he showed since he was younger, if he would have got that boost of athleticism like his pops did and Bronny got, I think then it would be a little different. But
he's also not as smart as Bronny. I don't see Brown. Like he's just not.
Decision making is a bit.
Yeah, but
Flexed Up sent through the super chat. Flex said, "Take Western Conference style of play is historically more regular season friendly. Let's talk about it."
I think he means like the East was always more defensively slanted, and defense translates better to the playoffs, and like defensive physicality and stuff. I think that's what he's.
The Pistons.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably disagree, but
2000s Pistons, I guess, is what.
Gandhi KV2 has been a member for 4 months. He said, "Chill, what's your top 10 big men in the NBA?"
Joker, Anthony Davis, DeMontis Sabonis.
I knew that set you off.
This can't be in order.
It can't be in order because DeMontis should have been number one.
Exactly. It can't be in order.
Bam.
You counting Giannis as a big one?
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't. Is Giannis a big? Because if Giannis is a big, then he's number 2.
So this is in order.
Yeah.
So where's Wemby?
That's what I forgot about. Oh, Wemby.
I was about to say Jokic, Giannis.
Wemby's somewhere behind DeMontis. That's where he is.
So let me try this again real quick, Ron. Let me try this again. So Joker. Wemby's playing better, but Anthony Davis is better than him. So Joker, Davis, Cat. Nope. Joker, Davis, Sabonis. Nope. Joker, Davis.
It's a Sabonis that he gets Joker.
The way that Wemby has been playing right now. Wemby is a top 3 big in the game.
I'll be right back.
He's a top 3 big in the game. Yes, he is. The way he's been playing right now. So I got to put him top 3. Even though I don't think he's better than Cat. I don't think he's better than Anthony Davis. And I don't think he's better than Sabonis neither.
Okay.
But the way he's playing right now, the way he's playing right now, I would have to say he's a top 3 big.
You're muted, by the way, Ox. By the way, just for
yeah, the way he's playing right now, he's a top 3 big. So Joker, Davis, Wemby, Sabonis. Nope, Cat Sabonis. Bam. Then it gets tricky with the other bigs.
Joel, I think you're good at basketball personally.
I forgot Joel Embiid. I forgot all about him. Wow.
It's summarizing his game time.
I think Joel's good at basketball.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think he is good at basketball. He just hasn't been available. He just hasn't been. That's why
he's played 11 games.
Yeah, 11. The third of the season is already over. So
Okay, so he's played a third of the third.
It would have been good if we went over this earlier because I know we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, it's
for me to actually think about it. Yeah, Mo, it actually is a lot more difficult than you give me credit for. Yes, it is. There aren't 10 guys that you could just run down and go pop, 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 pop. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, that's pretty difficult off the top of
Free chill.
No, and just disrespecting my man Filipowski like that.
Facts. Respect Filipowski, man. Ron, I read like 6 super chats in your absence. You're welcome.
Anytime.
Best to show his flow, to be honest.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Premise Orion became a YouTube member. Shout out to Mr. Orion. Maradi Tanzambi said 10 plus years, chill.
That was for the East and West.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to take Charles Barkley off your team.
He should have never been on the team to begin with.
Then Giannis is on the crew then.
Not again.
Unlimited Z said, okay, chill. Giannis dealt with KG, Duncan, Powell, and etc.
Facts.
Tough Bradley sent through a member's chat. Y'all know Tough Bradley. He said, hey, chill. How do you think it would have affected you if you were able to play 4 additional years on top of your JUCO years in college?
It would have affected me a lot. Yeah, 100%. It would have affected me a lot to go play. I don't think I would have stayed at Utah State. I would have stayed closer to home. But even still, to be able to play that long, yeah, I think I would have been much better in a better program. Mm-hmm.
I guess it's cool, but why? Why are they doing that? Why do you get 4? I don't understand the reason.
24, 25-year-old D1 players, but it is what it.
I was 23 my senior year.
Yeah, I just don't think it's necessary. I'm confused on why they're doing that. I don't
understand why you lose those years though. Going to play in junior college, those 2 years.
I mean, why wouldn't you? You still playing ball. You're going to school. These right. like the credits you get, they transfer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't understand the reasoning. I mean, mind you, I'm not against it. I'm just trying to figure out like why did
the reason why you lose those 2 years, it was because of the SAT. Because you didn't pass the SAT and you go to junior college. Because if you pass the SAT and you go to junior college, you don't. You go to a 4-year school.
A lot of people go to JUCO that didn't pass the SAT.
I didn't pass the SAT. That's why I went to junior college. So
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that's
there's also guys who went to junior college who passed the SAT too.
Right. If you do, because if you do pass and you got you got your eligibility or whatever, like you're eligible. So that way you don't have to sit. You don't have to go to 2 years. You can just go 1 year and you can go D1 if you get recruited or whatever. Right. So that's the only reason I'm just confused on what's the point. And
you still get that redshirt year in Division I, so you don't lose that year.
You still get 5 to play 4. Now you get 6 to play 4. You know, so I'm just that's all. I'm just confused on why they're doing it.
Unlimited Z said, people keep taxing this era a lot, but not gonna lie, we got to start doing an illegal defense tax. That's what we got to start doing. Robert Carr sent through a members chat. He's been around for 17 months. He said, chill, who's better, KD or Barkley?
KD.
So it goes KD, Dirk, Barkley, Jokic, Giannis.
Yes.
Easy Creation 718 is a member today. Shout out to Easy Creations. Sorry Key has been a member for 13 months. Sorry said Trey better. My Hawks getting a top 6 seed. El Mars. Damn. Good take. Sorry Key. Finn 275 said KD's motor defensively and on the boards has been horrible. He has to be better. This front office can't do anything with these bums, Bill and Nurk.
Imagine Phoenix finishing 9th in the Western Conference.
And then somehow that pick conveys into the number 1 pick. And the Rockets get Cooper flag. Rockets FC, we back.
GG on that one.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Gandhi KV2 said no Mobley and Allen.
What's he talking about?
You're talking about Charles top 10, I'm guessing.
Big.
Was that Superchat sent recently? Oh, okay.
Well, I can't really talk to him about Mobley because he think Mobley sucks. So There's no reason to talk to him about Mobley.
How the tables have turned.
I think Mobley's good.
I think he's awesome, but he thinks Mobley is garbage. He said that to me. He thinks he sucks.
He's the Cavs' best player, bro, but people not ready for that conversation.
All right, OG team. It's really like OG Anunoby Glazers out there.
Yes, it is.
But one of them was
that should be.
He be trolling, chill.
No, he's not.
Don't even
He's not. No, he's not. You think
Bro, don't do that because somebody really think I'm trolling. You know for a fact I'm not.
I really am not sold that you really.
Nothing less than chest.
But OG team sent through a super chat. OG said, if Brunson was 6'6", is he Shea?
No.
He's better though.
He's still built like that though. Like he's 6'6". He not so like not stretching him out. He's 6'6" and still swole like big like that. Shea don't want to see that, boy. Shea don't want to see that.
No one would want to see a 6'6".
Shea don't want to see that like that.
You're not Shea, but no one would want to see a 6'6", bro.
If Messi's 6'4", he's Cristiano Ronaldo.
So he's worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Hans Ding said, if you believe Giannis MVP, it's plus 650 right now.
Send me the link. You know what to do.
What's Shea's odds?
Where do you even make that bet?
Go to PrizePicks.
I don't even
Mr. Holloway.
Bingo. You can't ask.
No, but
yeah, I think so.
Who wants to put money on that? Put money on Giannis PRA.
Facts.
Russ PR 34.5.
Some demon picks.
Mo said, New Year, same me, Dub Harden.
Shout the bid.
John Wick, one game, said, my Spurs need to trade Keldon Johnson for Cam.
Why would the Nets want Keldon Johnson?
In your dreams.
They would not.
I know it's a fire sale, but they're not that broke.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Duke did it, just simply said, Seattle.
They'll be back soon, Ron. Yep, they'll be back soon. Don't worry.
Shout out Seattle.
Unlimited Z said, Giannis clears that bum defensively so bad.
I think that was the Charles
He
Barkley.
do clear Barkley on defense. He does. Yeah, he does. That's correct.
Masinko said, shading to me is JR 2.0.
I like the JR comp, but I thought somebody was trying to say he was better than JR, and I just think that's extremely ridiculous.
JR was more fluid with the ball in his hands, I would say.
JR was cold on the low with the ball.
Denver
and Knicks, JR?
JR also shoot better.
Yeah. I was thinking Shaden ain't touching.
JR just better. Yeah,
I met JR in real life. He a bit of 6'6". Ain't nothing 6'4", 6'5" about him. He's a big ass 6'6" too.
I'm not gonna name him shame him on there, but someone told me J.R. Smith was a mixtape merchant, and I haven't spoken to them since.
No, that's wild.
Dub Nick
I want real quick before we go, Ron. I really want to just talk about that Jalen Brunson thing real quick. Are we talking about Ron Artest with a deep bag? Like that's what I'm seeing.
He not built like Ron Artest.
Ron Artest
6'8".
Because if you built like a compressed Ron Artest,
if you get taller, you got to get a little wider too, just a little bigger. Jalen Brunson is big though. I'm talking about that's Ron Artest with a bag. He cooking Shea. He doing Shea dirty.
You running 5.7 said on New Orleans, prayers to the city, tragic event.
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
What happened?
Some goofy last night ran into a bunch of people in his car, killed 10 people, and injured like another 20 on New Year's Eve. Some goofy ass dude did that.
Drunk driving?
No.
Very conscious of the decision.
Yes.
Trying to tell y'all, either way, man, never drink and drive, man.
All right, y'all. Well, in the meantime, everybody be cool. We will catch you tomorrow. And it's 5 minutes left in the second quarter, and Scatterboo got 44 yards. So he gonna hit that, and we gonna be victorious tomorrow. Until then, y'all be cool.
Later.
Merry Christmas.